the voice of Master Chief, Spartan 117. And you're tuned in to Next Podcast. Now, wake me when you need me.
Yeah, we're with you, Cortana. We're with you. Those were all AI. They were all AI that were running other ships. Nah, yeah, I'm just saying, yo, that, like that, yo. But, yo, in that case, what's going on, people? Welcome to another episode of the Next Podcast. And, guys, this might be one for the books tonight. We started off kind of crazy off air, and it definitely has the potential, has the ability to overflow into the show, and that means I don't know what's gonna happen tonight, guys. But as usual, it is 8 o'clock. It is Thursday. It is prime time, and we have some hot topics to get into. But we can't do that without getting into the intros. So first off, he was the first one here. He is from the Lone Star State, and you guys know him. He is featured on his favorite website, his moneymaker, OnlyFans. It is Predator. What is up, bro? It definitely a surprise, man. And don't raise your voice to K Mega, okay? Don't do it. Don't do it, man. Nice, brother. And next on the list, coming live from the 405, he's been here from the beginning, but somehow, some way, he doesn't get pissed at me as often as you would think, man, which is kind of crazy. But it is my brother K Mega. What is going on, bro? Hold on. How can I only yell at you if, like, I can't yell at you if you're not yelling back? That means I would have to yell first, and you automatically get mad. Yeah, and you got mad. Oh, what is going on here? Hold on. Properties.
No sound.
Young man.
Yeah, I just noticed that. And
you did all that for nothing.
We did all that for nothing. All that.
For nothing.
But it's going to be a fire show anyway. We'll make up for it within like the first 20 minutes. Let's be real here, brother.
Yes.
But next on the list, of course, this panel member lives the closest to me. Yes, he is on the East Coast where we go by the Lord's time. Crispy Bomb, what is going on, brother?
Man, y'all are just going crazy. Like, I was all good, just chilling, and then I said gears, and Pred lost his mind. He's like, yo, I don't want to hear that shit. And then it turned into a bunch of other shit involving Destiny and stuff. Like, dude, we should just like let it roll as soon as we get into the chat because it was entertaining, and I can't wait. Let's get into it, man.
He was sitting back with a thing of popcorn, like he was loving.
I was throwing them in my mouth too. I was like missing. I'm like, oh yeah, this popcorn. Man, it just won't go into my mouth right. Like, come on.
I don't think everybody understands how violent I get behind the scenes.
He said, "I will get in that ass."
Oh well.
But all right, let me check out the topics. I want to see where we're going first when it comes down to it, because you know what? Let's start with PlayStation Game Trials, because they have initiated something on the PlayStation 5 where people will be able to try out games before they buy them, and I believe this is only first party right now. When it comes down to it, on the surface, this sounds like a great idea to me. Like you're able to play a game for so much amount of time, a limited amount of time to see if you like it before you purchase it. Now the thing is, there's a little caveat, there's a little curveball with this new feature. As soon as you click download, your time starts counting for your time on this game. So as the game is downloading, and it'll download the full game onto your system, the clock is ticking. And I see chat disconnected. Yo, we are having all sorts of fun tonight, man. I swear. I'm bringing everything. Everything looks good.
You might have something. You might have some. You might have some packet loss or something. You might have something that's running that you don't know about. You better turn off that high ente.
The what?
The high ente.
Close that porn.
That's that anime porn. Yeah.
That hentai? Is that what you're talking about?
Hentai. Yeah. I don't even know how to pronounce it.
You said high intake. I'm like, what? Like, well, I heard high intake. I'm like, yo, there's a high intake feature on my computer.
Well, I can hear it.
We're good?
I just said.
I said I can hear it.
Okay, cool. As long as you thank you for testing it out, man. I definitely appreciate that. So, like I said, game trials. You have a certain amount of time you can go in and try out the game. Only thing is, as soon as you click that you'll do this and start downloading the game, the clock is ticking from there. So, I don't know. Let's go to K-Mega on this. K-Mega, what do you think about this feature? I think it's a good feature, but again, when it comes to Sony and things they implement, it just seems like there's always a curveball. There's always some type of double standard. There's always a piece of it that you kind of scratch your head with, and I think we found that with this one. What do you think about this feature and kind of like its implementation, like how they kicked it off, man?
I mean, it's something that should have already been done, but then again, it's Sony, and it's funny because like people want to go after Xbox for VR, but Sony, on the other hand, waited to see what the Kinect would do, to a sense, because the iToy has been around for a long time, but it is not the Kinect. And when the Kinect did well, then they were like, okay, well, let's just see what happens with this new with this new console, since it's got to come with the Xbox One. And then when it failed, PlayStation, because I'm pretty sure they had patents of having the same type of device. Because it would, it just seems to be something that would be really popular like the old Kinect was. But Sony just kind of waited and said, well, we're going to go with VR. Xbox looking and waiting because they already did the peripheral thing. There was a success, then it wasn't so much of a success, and then they're looking and saying, no, we're just going to wait. And people jumped on them for that, which, rightfully so, or whatever the case may be, of whatever Phil Spencer said on that stage about it's supposed to be coming to the Xbox One X, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the same things that, to me, right? Like Sony just kind of waited to see if this was going to be something that actually was needed at the time. Now, the more and more that we go into this generation within the first year, remember they were all about like games first, this first. We don't need to have these type of features. We can just do what we do by selling consoles and in abundance, and we'll be fine. Well, then they started to see that, oh, well, damn, Xbox is over here making a lot of revenue, and they're in third place, or they're in second place. And that is something that really has never happened to a company, especially after last gen of what Xbox has done, being in that position, most companies that's been in that position has almost got one foot out the door. So for Sony to do this now, just shows that they were waiting, and now they see it, but they already had the cards. I mean, look, if they wouldn't have purchased the company that they did in order to have PlayStation Now and all that, if they didn't want to, if they didn't think that they had something there. So, they could have already been on the ball. They could have been the first ones to kind of implement this, to do this. They could have already been the first ones to do kind of like a EA Access. But because of their strategy and their messaging back then, it was completely different. So,
well, aren't they the only ones doing this now when it comes to the free game trials?
Well, no, not really, because I mean, if you look at it from because there's free trial weekends on Xbox, you could go on PC and then they'll give you trials and things like that.
Oh yeah, PC's always ahead of the game when it comes.
Yeah,
to stuff
No, it is something that they need to do to counteract, to get people to start going to the PlayStation Network. So it's not. I mean, obviously that their numbers went down, but it's obviously there's something there, because I think for the messaging that they had back then to say, oh well, who cares about old games? Who cares about streaming and all of this other stuff? That's that type of I just rather play it off of my console. There's even some Xbox gamers that was saying that at the beginning, but now slowly but surely they're starting to change their mind. And on top of that, there was a reason why they invested with Xbox for Microsoft to get access to Azure. So that all incumbents to where they're saying, look, we can't just keep quiet and have these different type of narratives. We got to be all in too, because we're seeing all these other companies doing this to a certain degree, and so now we have to have a strategy. And so that is the first thing, to try to get more people involved by having them play free games. It's no different than, well, it's a little bit different, but it's something that when you look at the PSN and what they've done and how they have those monthly games like Xbox been doing forever. This is just a new step, because like I said before, with everything else that they're going to do by putting games on PC, all etc., they're going to spoon feed their audience or their fan base until they get them acclimated, like Xbox fans are and PC gamers have been by getting all these type of rewards and stuff like that. I mean, just look at what Epic Games does. I think it's a strategy because Sony and Epic Games are kind of tight. And so they seen what Epic Games was doing, so they said, oh, well, we could try to do the same thing and just try to see if we could build up some subscribers with this.
Okay, I got you, bro. I got you. Like I said, I feel like it's a good idea. It's a good feature. Just when I heard that, as soon as you start downloading the game, your time's ticking. Now, there's people out there that really don't have fast internet. You know what I'm saying? So it all depends on your internet speed, how much time you are actually going to have with this game before it's like, all right, you got to put up or shut up now. You're going to give me the money, or are you going to stop playing? It's like, yeah, but I only got like 5 minutes into it. That's an extreme kind of like example, but shout out to the friendly neighborhood Blue Shell. He has been a member of this channel for 1 year. Oh my goodness. Thank you for the support, bro. Really, really do appreciate it. He says, I'd like to personally thank Ep.40 and the GRG podcast for their great advice in choosing the 43-inch, what is that, XB5, X85J Sony TV for the 120 frames per second gaming in Halo Infinite. So I guess, what is it, Blue Shell? You were in the flight and you liked the performance, man. Hit up the chat, let me know, what your experience was like there. But let's see, Crispy, I need you to chime in on this, man. So Sony, they're PlayStation will give out free trials for games, and I think they're focusing more on first party right now. I think when it comes to like third party, they have to kind of get agreement with the publisher and all that stuff. But at least with first party, got game trials going on. But again, the time starts counting as soon as you click yes and start downloading the game. What do you think about that as well, bro?
Sony's trying to be pro-consumer? What? Is that possible? This is where I go and hate on people that disagree with me. Competition is a good thing. And unfortunately for them, with Game Pass and the way they treat games there, Microsoft has the advantage. Off rip. You just download the game and you could play it as long as you want, and you pay a nominal fee. And that is it. That's all you do. So, Sony first party, that's the thing. You say Game Pass, you say Xbox first party. Sony first party needs a new way of going about it because they refuse to go down that route quite yet, which we've seen that they're not completely opposed to it, but they're taking the very slow and steady wins the race route, and I don't know if that's going to work in this day and age. We will see. But as of now, they have invested in Azure servers. They have the infrastructure to be able to start building something with their first party. And the way you start mind share towards the first party is go and say, here's a free trial to it. Now, you have to go through Sony's servers to actually download the game. Could they throttle that down? I'm pretty damn sure they could if they wanted to. So if you're clicking the button and then have to wait for the download and that time is a part of your trial, that's some bullshit. Now, they just need to correct it. I'm not going to sit here and beat a dead horse. You just correct it and you say, okay, once the game is downloaded, you hit the start button on the menu. That is when your time starts. I think that's a fair assessment of what they should do. And it really would help in the overall, consumerism that has become this world at this point. Like, people want what they want, and they see one company doing something, and they see another company doing the exact opposite. And if it comes down to your first party, Microsoft already gives it to you on Game Pass. So you have to understand that if you're going to do anything, at least let people play Uncharted for the first time with a slight trial, at least a couple hours, rather than an hour, because the other hour was you downloading the game, which is just ridiculous. So just fix it.
Yeah, and my whole thing with this, when they were coming up with this feature, when they were kind of like putting it in, getting ready to put it out there, for the public, for the gamers, for the PlayStation community, there was nobody in these offices that was like, hey, dude, this starts as soon as I start downloading it. Like, what? We can't do that. Like, that's kind of shady right there. You know what I'm saying? Nobody said anything like that or anything. Like, I know you guys are saying fix it, but I'm like, damn, they should have been aware of the situation to begin with.
They were already aware.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're aware. It's the fact that they're going to make money off of it, and that's the whole point. Like, you play an hour, you enjoy the first part of God of War or something, and then you hate the rest of the game. Guess what? They already got you hooked. They got your money. That's the way I look at it, and that's where I go and say, you know what? Sometimes you start off a game, it's really, really great, and then it kind of falls off, and then you're not interested in it. And sometimes it's the exact opposite. But they're going off of, like, their games start off really well, most of them. So
Crispy, do you beat dead corpses? You can't. You're not going to yell for help. Yeah. Wow. All right, hold on. Crispy, hold your thought. How come it's not registering? That is so weird. Guys, my property switched Like I have it on, guys. I'm using the Xbox wireless headset. I got an update, but it was before all this, and I thought I had everything ironed out. I guess not. I got you, but we're good now. Well, hold on. Can't hear panel. Hold on, can't hear panel. Well, I was just looking at the equalizer. It was working, and then it stopped working. Hold on, let me check one more time, guys. Bear with me here. Let's see. Filter. Close. Properties. Oh, yeah, my door's wide open. Damn it! I told my son I'm waiting for him to put it in. Let's see
You're
right
waiting for a
there.
while.
Okay.
I didn't hear anybody but you just now.
Okay, now we're good. Yeah, Viper. I know, guys. That's the joy of having a live show. And somebody say something real quick.
Something.
Okay,
Something.
you guys are on. Gotta watch out for 10-hour EA trials. Let me close my door so this way I don't drive Fred crazy.
I
Right.
was gonna get
Yeah.
into that.
Right.
I was gonna get into what Casket just said too on my
Mm-hmm.
what I went through.
All right, well, Predator, it's on you now, man. What do you think about this feature that PlayStation's rolling out, man?
I mean, it's nice, but you ask yourself like how many if it's only first party, how many first party games do they come out with a year? I mean, it looks like
Well,
three.
none for the rest of this year.
Yeah, enough for the rest of this year, but like on average, it's usually like three, right?
Yeah.
Now if they add, they start going backwards and adding some of the stuff from before. Like say I haven't played, I don't know, Ghost of Tsushima. Let's say I never played that game, and that ends up in there, as a trial now because I really wanted to play it, but I didn't want to spend the money on it, and it shows up in the trial now. I That works out for me. Like, I mean, there's a lot of games like Returnal. Maybe I wanted to try it out, but I didn't buy it, right? Another thing I like though, like with Steam, and this is why I love being a multi, platform console owner, is like
PC
I can
Master
pick
Race
and
is what
choose.
he meant to
Yeah,
say.
I can pick and choose where I buy games from. Like I always default to Xbox first, but there's times where I will get something on PC, like a single player game on PC, because I know I'm going to end up playing it by myself, So maybe I don't like it. Like I got Deathloop. I played about 5 hours of it, and I was able to return it on Steam because I didn't like it. I was like, I'll just
Oh, I
wait
was
till it
gonna
comes on
ask you if you
Xbox.
liked it or not, man, because
Yeah, I didn't get into that game, and I'll try it out on Game Pass when it comes to Xbox, but having to get it right now at this moment when I got Battlefield and Halo coming out here pretty soon. If I would have beaten it, I'd have been fine. But like, I wasn't interested in trying to finish that game because you know me, I'll know life a game until I'm done. If I don't get that sense of a game when I first get into the first 4 or 5 hours into it, I know I'm not going to know life it and finish it within the first week. I'm probably never going to finish that game, or it's going to be one of those I just like have to put away to the side. But now at the end of the year, Deathloop, and I didn't finish it, and I got Battlefield, I got Halo, and I got some other games coming out that I want to play this year. I won't probably touch that game until January, and then I'd finish it. So I can just wait. I can just return my money. I can pick it up later on sale if I really want to buy it that bad, or I can wait for it to come on Game Pass and get it, with my subscription. Um, so there's that, but like it's like Sony's catching up to something like what everybody else is doing, but they got to add in other games too. Like they can't just do first party. They don't have enough first party games coming out. This makes sense to me. Like I said, on average they have maybe three, four max. Um, Obviously, you're gonna get those bangers like God of War. Everybody's gonna buy that and play through that shit. But then you get those like weird games like what was that like that the arena game they had that it kind of sucked.
All Star Arena.
All Star
I,
that All Stars whatever it was called
I'm an
like
All Star. Yeah, something.
or like Bug
Some All
Snacks or
Star.
some shit like that. Like like who the fuck's
Bug
playing that?
Snacks was highly rated, sucker. Watch your mouth.
That was highly
oh
rated to be
no.
garbage. And so like
Shout out to Slim
imagine
for streaming Bug Snacks as well.
yeah, Imagine paying $70 for that game. So like
Diabetes.
diabetes. Like, the good thing is like I'm glad they're doing it because like their games are expensive now, the first party games. So they're giving people an opportunity to play them before they, for a couple hours. But the whole download thing, that's complete bullshit. Like, it could take, depending on your internet service, dude. Like I remember like a day going by and shit still wasn't done. Like I had to go back and check and make sure it's still downloading. And that just isn't on PlayStation. That's on Xbox too. When
Destruction
our
All
internet,
Stars.
yeah, when our destruction all stars, yeah, when our internet was garbage, like like you're like, man, this thing it's taking 6 hours for it to download, and you only get like 4 hours of playtime. So like, that sucks. I like the way EA does it. Like they start the clock when the game is downloaded and you hit start. And like I forgot who said that, Casket Repair, and he was like, that you got to exit out. Like you got to like actually, like on Xbox, I literally have to go to hit the start button and hit close to make sure that that time isn't counted because I got fucked over in that before. With I think it was Mass Effect, and I was playing it, and I was like, man, I've only played like really hours time. I only played like I felt like 2 hours worth of it, but like they cut that shit off, man, because I still had it running in the background. So like, you gotta hit start and cancel that shit to exit out of the game. So they'll get you like that. But I mean, how long was the trial? Did they say? Because I didn't pay attention to the article.
Uh, I believe it's a couple hours.
A couple hours, like
Um,
two. Two's a couple.
uh,
Several is like five, 4 or 5.
between 2 and 4. I'm just trying to get the base figure. I don't remember exactly, but it's definitely between 2 and 4.
Okay, I mean it's a demo at that point, basically. So I mean, I would rather them if they're gonna do this, just do demos. Just do like a structure or like a set. You get to a certain point and the demo ends. Like I've seen with like what's that game? Iron. I
Dude,
got
the
it. I still haven't played
360
it.
era, we got a demo
Yeah,
for almost
you got a demo
everything.
disc. Yeah, like you get a demo and it would like they have a certain checkpoint you get to and it would cut off.
Yep.
Like you can get like 30, 40 minutes into the game and be like, oh man, this is awesome. And it ends. You're like, oh shit, I want more. You know, um, I'd be pissed if I got in it. Like you get deep into that demo, that playtime, and then it shuts off and like it didn't save or like fucking you got to restart all over again when you actually buy the game. Like let me finish this last little part real quick and let me get this done real quick, and then phew, shit just shuts off, and that's it. That's all you get. Um, I'd be pissed. I mean, again, it's a step. It's a
It's a
small
good
step
start. It's
forward.
definitely a good
Yeah,
start.
it's a good start, but they gotta kind of tweak that out a little bit. And maybe the PlayStation community out there will be like, "Hey, this is stupid," and they'll fix that. That whole it downloads and counts your time type bullshit. And um, but that's on them. Like they got to speak up for that kind of shit. They're usually so hardcore in defending. Whose game is play is this? Is that you, Xbot?
Yeah, well, you
Halo?
saw the grenades? Like I
No, I
knew I
was
was
looking
gonna
at the
die, but I
rocket,
just
and I
talked.
was like, I was pulling for you right there. Um, so, so like, yeah, um, I forgot I was going. Like, yeah, the PlayStation community, like,
I'm
speak up. Like, if
distracting
you
you
guys,
with horrible
yeah,
Halo
if you
gameplay.
guys like, you guys speak up more often instead of trying to defend bullshit. Sometimes, like, you'll get what you wanted. But like, stop sitting here accepting it. Like, if this is fucked up and you know it's fucked up, speak up. Say something, and maybe like they'll make a change, like they did with the other incident that happened recently, where you guys spoke up and they changed it. They changed the stance on it. So like, go there. Like, don't just sit back and try to like hate everything Xbox does. You gotta hate things that PlayStation does too when they do fucked up shit. Like, step
Oh,
up with
the
the community.
Horizon Forbidden West upgrade
Yeah,
situation. Yeah.
yeah. Like, speak up. Like, I mean, like, stop sitting here in the Xbox podcast bashing shit we do and start bashing shit that the company you fall in love with is doing wrong. Like, don't let your wife cheat on you in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, speak up and say something when it happens. Like,
Subscribe to Pred's OnlyFans.
no,
And
I'll do
this
that at the
channel
end of the
as
show.
well. My bad.
I'll do that at the end of the show. That's all I got, man. We can move on.
Yeah, I do want to say, guys, we do have a panel member missing as well for, followers of the show. Dark Optimus Optimus is not here right now, and when we get to the topic, I will definitely let you know why. Okay, just put it that way. But yeah, like I said, great feature. Just poorly implemented at this point in time. Hopefully, they go back and change a couple things. Shout out to Casket Repair as well, because when it comes to EA trials, he gave out valuable advice. If you're in one of those 10-hour EA trials on Xbox, when you back out of the game, make sure you quit out of the game because it'll run in the background and it'll take all your time. Like it'll take your 10 hours if you don't
Yeah,
realize
because
like
yeah,
you
you're
have to
right.
go quit. You have to go quit it out. Otherwise, like you're just gonna spend the majority of those hours not even realizing that they're counting down. Shout out to the friendly neighborhood blue shell hitting up that super chat. That is right, people. The super chat does indeed work. He said, "This about like people not being heard, panel not being heard, and stuff." He says, "This is some old tier GRG podcast performance there." Oh, brother.
Oh, he was right.
Damn.
Oh, yeah, he was right. He was right. It was rough. I didn't know how to push them buttons right and fast enough. Now it's
Yeah.
all good. I get that stuff done lickety split.
You gotta flick the bean, bro. You gotta flick the bean.
Oh my
Right,
goodness. Oh.
right.
Oh.
Right.
Guys, I gotta
What's
ask
the beam?
anybody. uh, go, Fisty. Would you like to explain, or are we going past this?
No, we're going past
Oh,
this.
okay.
Well, I do want to say this kind of reminds me of PlayStation Now. Um, like the way that they have a great strategy and something that can benefit the PlayStation gamer, but because of greed, they just, like, we
Fuck
just
you.
want to, yeah,
Fuck you. We
yeah,
take your money.
yeah, we just want some money, like, you know what I'm saying? So
Wow.
it's pretty fucked up. So yeah, like it's the same thing in a way. Like we just want to give you a little taste, and I don't know, man. Like I don't know. I just think that
Maybe
it's
they're
the same.
afraid. Maybe they're
It's
afraid that
just the
It
tip.
somebody.
reminds me the
Just the
same
tip.
thing. Right.
Maybe
Right.
they're afraid that if like people get enough time on these games, they're like their first party is basically that single player story driven narrative or
If you
whatnot.
have
Like
confidence in your product, then you give
no,
at
maybe
least what
they're
like
afraid
EA
people will
does.
beat it in the demo part. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
yeah,
Like
well that part too. Yeah, so they can give 10 hours for certain games or whatever. But
Oh
that
shit.
yeah, so
Oh,
so
that's
you know what I'm
I'm
saying.
shade.
just
So
talking the truth. I'm not trying to be
Hey,
shady at all, bro.
that's
Like
not.
I'm
Hey,
just
that's not shade. That's like a whole fucking solar eclipse you just did right
yeah.
there. Like,
oh man.
Nah, bro. Nah. But all right, guys. Well, on that note, since we have a total
Cold
eclipse going on,
blooded.
uh, Jim Ryan recently was in an
Oh,
interview, and it seems to be this is Twitter has been talking about this like crazy. Not only that, but the conversation in this interview brought up a previous interview back in April by Jim Ryan. Now, one thing I will say, Jim Ryan has a habit of saying one thing and then doing something completely opposite, but then championing what he did as this is what he wanted all along. Do you guys get what I'm saying there? Like
Yes.
it's all about generations, but then you got all these games that are cross generation games. Like
That's when it goes lowered
where
expectations.
where those people coming out like Jim Lyon lied to us. He lied to us like Phil Spencer does.
like Phil Spencer. Yeah, well,
Where's my
uh,
VR?
when it comes to this interview, when it comes to this newest interview, the big quote here was Jim Ryan was like, when they were talking about the future of gaming with PlayStation, Jim Ryan came out and he said, I would basically I would like to see.
Betrayal.
He didn't say betrayal,
well,
but
the PlayStation community did.
yeah, well, not only that, but of course, Xbox extremists are absolutely running with this interview, and I find it I find it really interesting
God.
because I'm not really too heavy on one side or the other when it comes to what they're picking out of this interview, because basically he said that in the future of gaming he would like to see people have PlayStation game experiences like hundreds of millions of gamers. And right then and there, it goes like people went back. Well, Phil Spencer said he was after like 2 billion gamers. And when you're starting to hit hundreds of millions, now we know how many PS4s were sold last generation. It was over 100 million. But when you're talking about hundreds of millions, I it would suggest that you're thinking beyond console. Multiple platforms. Getting your games out there you know to a wider range of gamers. Now, I'm gonna go to Predator on this one. Now, Pred, I don't know if you saw the interview or not. It was interesting, but this dude is definitely a double talker, and even Phil does that from time to time. It is definitely a business type thing. Like don't get it twisted. I know not to trust any corporation, but do you think that Jim Ryan was indeed talking about kind of like getting, you know, PlayStation games out there, multiple platforms, broader kind of like gamer demographic, getting those games out there in different ways on different devices? Do you think that Jim Ryan was basically trying to say what Phil said, even though Jim Ryan did definitely throw shade when Phil said that and got kind of like a negative backlash? What do you think, bro?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Because like he said, he's mentioned putting things on PC before, and it's like people tend to forget that. Like like he's talking about expanding the PlayStation, the PlayStation mindset and putting in things on multiple devices. He's alluded to those things in the past, and it's like some people will just feel like either it's not coming or like they're omitting part of that conversation when they talk about stuff like that. He definitely said what he said on purpose. Like the whole like I don't want to say Phil speak because Phil's done it too, but like that's what I'm gonna call it right now. The whole Phil speak he's doing is the same thing Phil Spencer does. Like you say one thing, things change, and you have to change it again. Like maybe there was a mindset that like sometimes people canter to their fan base a little bit too much.
Mm.
They don't want to say what they really need to say because they know if they say what they want to say, that there's going to be backlash. And so they slow drip it, like now we'll give you this little tidbit. Oh yeah, we'd love to see some games on, on other platforms, like on PC or something like that. And then next thing you hear is like, yeah, we're going to put everything on PC too. It's like, but like it happens. Like, I think the way Xbox did it, it was just like I think it was Quantum Break was the first one. We're
Yes.
putting a Quantum Break on PC. And then everyone's like, what the fuck? But then like when it happened and after it happened, people slowly took it.
Betrayal.
Oh
They
no.
were able to deal with it. We accepted it a lot better, because like, we had reasons for our own personal reasons, like well, Xbox, Microsoft, PC, it kind of makes sense to us, and it hurt, the very early phases of it. But like at the end of the day, I said a crispy phrase. At the end of the day, like no one's mad now. Like no one gives a shit. The only people who cared were the Sony guys. They're the ones that still harp. It's not exclusive anymore if it's on PC. Well, guess what? It's about to happen on your side of the yard too. So,
Mm.
like, if you're not reading the tea leaves and seeing, the light at the end of the tunnel, that's where Sony's heading. They've been saying these sort of things for multiple iterations and comments they've come out with in the past that they're slowly going to go to PC. Um, Maybe not day and date initially, but it's going to happen at some point.
Well, Pred,
This,
there was an article that just came out basically stating that PlayStation is ready to put PlayStation 5 games on PS Now to kind of like compete with Game Pass. Now, there are Sony extremists out there that constantly say Sony doesn't have to do this. They're number one in the industry. They don't have to compete with anybody. Dude, how do you feel about, we're basically right around the corner. Dude, it is so funny to me because these people at first they said, PlayStation won't do like cloud gaming on multiple devices, and back in April, Jim Ryan just basically squashed that whole thing. They're like, yeah, we're even talking to Microsoft to get ideas when it comes down to it. And now PlayStation's getting ready to throw their PS5 games into PlayStation Now and to compete with Game Pass, man. It, dude, what do you think? Is this good for the industry, man? Is this
Yeah, I
where
mean,
we
like
should go?
because that's where the trend's going right now.
Mm.
Like you either fall in line or get left behind. Right? And so you got so many people trying to enter the cloud gaming space and this the video game space right now. Sony's I guess Sony's business model of just let's just make good exclusives, 2 or 3 a year, it's going to fall to the wayside financially because they spend so much money making games, and you can't do that and then only get 3 games a year, and then have a console that's overpriced. I say overpriced. Like they're probably breaking more than even now, but like the console costs more to sell. Am I saying this right? It costs more to make the
Well,
console
there's
than what
less
they're getting
copper in
money
it
for.
now, so it's cheaper to
Yeah.
make. So
So
That much
like
chip is still it's still going to be it's more expensive than what they want to sell it for more than I mean they want to make a profit off of it. I don't know how much of a profit they'll make
yeah,
uh, just because they took the thing out
they're
the
past the
copper
break
out.
even point at this point, but
Yeah,
still like it's they're gonna have to do a refresh to keep up with what Microsoft is doing as far as power. Um, Maybe make it smaller. That's research and development. But like, I guess what I'm trying to say is like they can't keep doing the things the way they've been doing it. Business has changed. Like like you can't just say I'm gonna only do this one thing and that's all we're gonna do forever. Because what happens is other competition picks up on that. And they do the same thing and they do things better, right? That's why Microsoft finally decided to fucking win an NPD. That's why Microsoft is kind of gaining a little headway with the console space now because it isn't just about console sales; it's about making money. I've always said that to you guys, but like if if Microsoft is making money and they ain't doing shit, you can look at Sony and like, okay, you're selling a lot of consoles, but like Microsoft is like right there with you neck and neck as far as revenue. So like, what are we doing wrong? So this is just the way to increase revenue share. Hey, here's PS Now. We'll put these games in here to get you guys subscribed to the service. But until they get the streaming service down, and that's every console. Like every until they make streaming, the Steam Deck may fix that. Maybe bridge that gap. But until they get streaming down, um, and it works like good.
mm.
This is going to be a space that people are just kind of going to shy away from in the beginning, um, until you get a device that you can actually do it on the go. Because if you're at home, this is just me. I'm kind of getting off topic here, but if you're at home and you got your PlayStation hooked up to your fucking $2,000 TV and your widescreen monitor and you got a PC, why the fuck would you stream? You got to be able to take that shit on the go. So um, until someone makes a device, which I think the Steam Deck is going to get it there at some point, it kind of bridge that gap of playing on the go. Until somebody can do that, like I think the streaming aspect of gaming is not going to really take off until we get a device that actually does it well. So
I
that's
see.
just me.
I think I'm kind of in the boat with Xbox on this whole situation. I feel like we already have a device. Majority of people out there already have a device because when you look at uh,
Oh,
the cell phones that we have now in terms of screen quality, in terms of size as well, man. Like I got a Note, so like my screen is absolutely huge. It's sharp, and
that's
they
what she
got
said.
but it's got
Oh,
they have the Bluetooth connection with the controllers, or they Razer made kind of like a controller that goes on each side of your cell phone and stuff. I kind of feel like we already have that device. I don't think necessarily the Steam Deck is needed for that, but it can help it. It can help bolster it because if it becomes that popular and there's streaming involved, I'm not sure if you download games onto the Steam Deck or
download
if
it.
you
Yeah.
stream it. I believe you download it because it's
You
got
download it,
hardware. It's got hardware under the hood. But if
yeah.
there's a way that streaming onto the Steam Deck kind of brings that into like center stage, into the spotlight for a little bit, it could do nothing but help, streaming games in general. Um, let's see. Let's go with K Mega on this one, man. Let's go with K Mega. K Mega, did you watch the latest interview with Jim Ryan? I wish I could remember who was interviewing him, man. Something Wire. I
No, I did not watch the interview, but I did see it. I did see somebody post about the April situation that they had, which I mean, we've been talking about this for years about
mm,
PlayStation is going to have to make this decision. There is no middleman. There is no PlayStation could not hold on to the old trope forever. That is sale. And this is another thing too, is that what like Fred was alluding to, but I'm gonna even take it a little step further. Microsoft do things that's years in advance, that don't show really too much benefit until years ahead, right? So like people looking at like, well, it's going to take a couple of years, going to take a little while. PlayStation's still going to dominate. Look at this; they're going to get this revenue off of sending their games over to PC. They're gonna make a whole bunch of money on there, and they're going to keep Xbox they will keep Xbox in the back burner. Wrong. This is why, because there's only a few select PlayStation games that they will put available. And until they do it day and date, they're going to be putting themselves in a position where, yeah, people are going to there'll be people that are going to
the
buy and get their
inferior
games to be
service
started.
stuff.
Right, right, right. But they're going to be, but I'm saying, if they wait 6 months to a year or two after the sales go away, then or goes or dries up, then what happens is that Xbox is going to keep having these games be pumping out day and date, and they're going to be like, well, I really want this PlayStation game, but this game is coming from Obsidian. I got to get that, because this is the whole thing why Xbox is in a really prime position, because a lot of the studios that they just picked up are huge PC favorites, from everything from Bethesda, Obsidian, In Exile.
Mm.
Those three alone are huge in the PC space. And they got the option to get those games for day one. And let's just say that an old 3-year-old or 2-year-old PlayStation game comes out that's already been out. People already know the endings to them or whatever per se. They're going to get those brand new games first. Then they'll pick up the PlayStation game later. So that's where Xbox is going to catch up with them. And then how I feel, Xbox is going to start pushing. It's going to start accelerating past them, because the more that these games pump out, the more that you'll see that PlayStation is lagging behind, to the point to where maybe PlayStation will make the move to start putting games day and date. Now, got to give a big shout out to Jabari and them. They did it. They had Sean Layton on their show. And Sean Layton said that he was the one that instituted the games going to PC, which I did not know that. I thought that it was Jim Ryan. So, which makes it even more confusing to me, is why would they get rid of Sean Layton for doing such a smart
Well,
move?
what's even more confusing then was it was already implemented and being put into practice before Jim
Right.
Ryan got into
Took
power.
over.
But
Took
Jim
over.
Ryan was trying to throw shade about, games like games only being on
R-
PlayStation and stuff like that. Like he was out
Right.
there trying to claim all that, but he already knew what was going on then.
Like I
Well,
said, you pandering to your fucking fan base.
right,
Mm.
you're pandering to your fan base. Listen, this is what reminds me of and this is what, as you've heard me say this before, is that what this reminds me of is kind of like how Phil Spencer just kind of jumped into the fray, and then, well, to the fire, And then, he had to play gaming politics, and he had to say things.
He had to back up.
Well, no. He had to be in a Jim Ryan type of role by talking the talk, but he didn't have anything to show for it because he just jumped in. But people were already reactionary to him because already responded to him because he had to be reactionary because of how everything was when he first got there. So Jim Ryan is in the same position. He's over here. He doesn't have his feet completely wet yet. He's been with Sony forever, but the fact of it is that once he's in control, but you won't see his true worth until later on. Remember when there was so many people that was going after Phil, talking about, well, look at Killer Instinct, look at Rise, look at all these other games, Sunset Overdrive. These were all Don Matrix. This ain't Phil Spencer. We got to see what Phil Spencer does. So that's kind of like what Jim Ryan's going through right now. We won't see his vision until a little bit later. So he's eating off of what Sean Layton was doing. Now that's why I think he's had to make these different changes in his speech, because he's caught himself talking the talk, saying everything that the PlayStation community wants to hear, but then all of a sudden had to backtrack because the people higher up was like, well, we really want to kind of keep going this route. And then we want you to start implementing your stuff, but it's going to take some time.
Well, I gotta say, I still put that on Jim Ryan again, because what you just said with Sean Layden, that was already being worked out. That was already getting ready to be pumped out in terms of games on PlayStation going to PC. He should have known that that's not going to change. When you're adding a platform, all right, it's not a console platform, it's an open platform that has so many millions of gamers gaming on that platform.
Right.
There's no way the company's going to be like, you know what, Jim, you're in charge now. No, we don't want that. You don't want that, we don't want that. No, they're going to look at the bottom line and the potential revenue and be like, you know what, Jim, you're going to have to deal with that. So that's on Jim there, because he knew that wasn't going anywhere. He shouldn't have said anything, man.
No. I disagree, because remember, Yoshida and them was saying that too about backwards compatibility and all of this and all of that. And then look, I don't know how the situation we'll definitely find out here a little bit later of why Sean Layton
We'll get a book out in like
was
5
really
minutes about it.
was really let go, and how this all and how the cake was made, because it's really crazy, because if you think about it, this is, I've said this, is that it's going to take a while before PlayStation gets their identity for what they want to do going forward. Their old identity is what the old, the PlayStation stands keep talking about. That's dead. That they're not going back to that. They're going completely a whole different direction than these old tropes that's been talked about
where the industry
for years.
is going, though, man.
Right.
You gotta go with the flow in that aspect.
I get that, but you see that there was probably a power struggle of like, no, we will be fine as long as PlayStation stays true to what they do, and they can still dominate Xbox in console sales. And as long as, let's say, if we move to the United States, then we take their territory, Xbox's territory, the United States, then Xbox will be in a compromising position. But Xbox threw them for a loop. Instead of sitting here like, yeah, we getting revenue, but we're going to do something a little bit different. We're not only going to get revenue, but we're going to buy everything else around you to force you to commit to what we're doing. That's why a lot of people saying, oh, well, Xbox, they play the nice role, and that's the worst type of person that you ever want to deal with. It's you already know how a person is when they're rah-rah, when they're already dangerous. In that sense, where you already know that you got to put your guard up. But the most deceiving and most dangerous person is the one that comes at you with their hand down saying, I'll watch over you. I got you. I'm not here. I'm just here to self-support you. And then with the next thing you know, you look back and then, well, what the hell just happened? Yo, what? What? How is it that my wife is over here kicking it with you? What the hell? Hey man, why are you wearing my clothes? Yo, hey, hold on. What you doing? And the next thing you know, everything that because you you gave too much information out, and now that's what Xbox is pretty much doing, is playing the nice role. And as I said, I think maybe about a year and a half ago, they would love to get Game Pass on PlayStation, because that would be the beginning of the end. That's what, and I guarantee you, Disney and everybody else is like, oh shit, go ahead, Xbox, go ahead and do that. Because if you fuck with PlayStation and get PlayStation shit fucked up, then we can go in to strike to try to get Spider-Man back. So go ahead, do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do, Xbox. And
Shoot your
then
shot.
yeah, shoot your shot. Be cool. Be kumbaya. Because if PlayStation allows that to happen, PlayStation is done. That's why I don't ever see it ever happening as long as Sony has got the power to hold on to PlayStation. It just can't happen, because then what you do is that you just Xbox will just dominate everything. Just look at what Xbox has done in the last 5 years. Well, last 5 years, everything that they picked up on. All these things from around PlayStation on top of the studios. If they get some more studios, then it's only just more gravy. So PlayStation I think that they're now catching up to what's happening, and they're like, oh no, fuck that. We got to do something a little bit different. We got to try to stay true to our tradition to some sorts, but we have to start reaching more gamers, because now we're looking at everything that we were talking about is dying right before our eyes.
Yo, it's crazy. Yo, shout out to Dark Queen Gaming. Yeah, I believe what you're saying with Sean Layden, and I would believe him too. I'll definitely check out the interview, but just by him saying that he's the one
What do
who
you say?
implemented it,
Mhm.
shows that Jim Ryan pretty much knew direction and kind of said the opposite to people to kind of like
Well,
calm them down
maybe
and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, maybe he did also come. Maybe he said. Maybe he thought when Sean Lane got let go, or Sean Lane quit, whatever the case may be. Who nobody, I don't really actually know, that he could start implementing those old narratives, because that's how he probably thinks. And then the upper management was like, nah, bro, that's just not how this is going to work. So we're gonna go with what Sean Layden is saying, but we want you to implement whatever, I guess, that they told him, in order for him to be in charge, because we think that if both of your visions combines, from his or from Sean Layden's old vision to what you want to do, we think that that's best for Sony. I, I don't know, but like I said, that's just me speculating on that. But it's clear that this whole exclusive console uh, matters type of talk is gone. It's finito. It's Titans. That means
Titans.
nothing anymore. It is outro, and that's to me where I think that is the biggest is for where a lot of people should be just paying attention to. Like anybody that was capping for that should be looked at as like, damn, y'all didn't know anything of what the hell y'all was talking about, because it's only going to ramp up more. Like, yeah, okay, if they don't do day and date, but if they do a game in 6 months, to a year, that's still like pretty quick compared to what they were doing beforehand. So I think that this is going to rev up a little bit more, and they're going to start putting games out quicker than what they have been doing in the future. Because because that's another bragging point. If they have good sales on PlayStation and their numbers is good all the way around, and then they get on PC and they have good numbers there too, that is an all-around thing to try to hold on or recapture the market share. In my opinion.
I got you, bro. I got you. Great thoughts, man. Yo, shout out to Axel in the chat. What is up, brother? He asked the question, and I actually already have the answer to this. It says, what if PlayStation games on PC run on a proprietary emulator app and not natively in Windows? Now, brother, I will let you know, PlayStation basically created their own homepage on Steam. So I can almost guarantee you that the games will run natively on Windows. Like they're being sold through Steam or whatnot. So I don't think there's an emulator app behind it. I think it's just natively run. Kind of like the whole Steam process in terms of buying and playing games. So I don't think you have to think about that. Although if Sony were able to, I'm surprised that they haven't tried to create their own spot, in the PC space. Although it's really hard to get into. You just ask Epic how much money you have to spend just to get noticed as like a storefront on PC. Because that's the reason why they gave away all those games. That's the reason why they
Oh,
were,
they'll go broke. They
yeah,
can't do that.
they can't do
Yeah,
that.
no, they can't do
They
that.
can't do that, man. But shout out to you. That was a great question. Crispy, you have been quiet, sir. Absolutely quiet, man. What do you think about? Uh, oh, okay. I didn't. That almost sounded like K Mega doing the shh. I was like, oh, is he sleeping? Um,
Yeah.
but
Oh shit.
you got Jim Ryan out, talking about he wants the PlayStation gaming experience to get to hundreds of millions of people. A lot of people thought, hey, that means multiple devices. That means cloud streaming, which we already discussed an interview back in April. Jim was already talking about cloud gaming and stuff like that. People have a tendency to forget about those interviews. It's weird. Uh, bro, what do you think about this, man? Do you think he's talking about multiple devices and stuff when he's talking about hundreds of millions of people? How do you feel, bro?
They can do the same thing Xbox has done on iPhone. They can do browser based. It's possible. Um, One thing I'll say is that Steam, as far as PCs, is end all be all, but you
Well, and
could.
PlayStation has a homepage on Steam too now. So
Well, and what I'm saying is Microsoft found the loophole. Well, PlayStation might just use that all the way to the bank and put that through Android and everything else. There's a reason you invested in Azure servers. There's a reason for it. Now, that's where the debate will come in because unless I hear PlayStation 5 servers have been installed in the Azure system, I do believe you're just going to be using the Series X when they actually do it because they're going to do it. You're not reaching you want to talk 100 million? How long did it take them to get 100 million? It took them a while for PlayStation 4. PlayStation 2
6
as
years.
well. PlayStation 2 as well.
No,
It took even, I think, 2 years
4 5 years.
after that. It was like, no, I thought it was 8.
I
What you
love
talking about?
when it comes to PlayStation 2, I love how everybody was like, "Oh, it's the games library and stuff like that." Like I remember living through that, and I remember so many people got a PlayStation 2 strictly because it was the cheapest DVD player on
Mhm.
the market. Like people
I
forget
agree
about
with you.
yeah.
I agree with you, but if it's somebody that like listens to us or interacts with us on Twitter, they probably were like me and it was the games library. Eventually, I watched Sega dwindle down to nothing and watched PlayStation blow up into like, multiple rows at Blockbuster and I'm like, um lots of games feels like no games. Lots of games feels like no games. Like, dude, I remember playing PlayStation 2, Game Day, freaking Madden, freaking 2K. Like, dude, like, I had like a choice of like 4 different NFL games. And Sega would just be like, no, you get 2K and you get Madden. That's it. Be like, what about Game Day? I want to try it out. I want to see what it is. So the point is that PlayStation's slowly getting there, but at the same time, like if you're talking hundreds of million, dude, like I don't feel Jim Ryan's got a long time in the seat he's in. I feel like Herman Hulst is gonna take his job. You know
Really?
what I mean? And that's something that you go and say like how many times you're gonna talk out of both sides of your mouth and say things that you can say what you want, but I'm sure Sony themselves, the CEOs of actual Sony Pictures, everything else, are sitting there like analyzing the gaming aspect. It's successful right now, but at the same time, you're starting to see this strange like entity coming over the shadows, and it's Xbox with this weird thing called Game Pass. And it's like, well, at first, this wasn't a big deal at all, but now they got games coming out. They got studios. They got a lot of this stuff. And then, I mean, randomly, I saw recently that Netflix is about to release something. Like, you could say what you want about Netflix, but I've counted them out many times, and they came back and took my money. So I
Yeah.
don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's hard, when it's hard for a new company. Like you can ask Xbox, you can ask Microsoft about this when they first came in to the console space. Coming into the gaming space, it's really hard to do something and like right off the bat.
I agree, but the article I read at least is they're thinking about just including it with like an extra part of the subscription. So you get all your movies, TV, everything else, and then you add this one part that involves gaming, extra $5 or something. And who's to say they're not smart and do what they did at I would say the best part of Netflix when they started adding the Marvel movies and stuff like that. This is when they had, even up until like last year, they had some of the shows and everything, and then Disney took it all out after the contract was up. So they could do something like that. They could be like, "Hey, Xbox, we'll pay you." Microsoft will take money, man. They will. They will take money. I'm sorry. Like, everybody can sit here and be like, "Oh, this guy." I'll tell you right now, Sony, I will give them credit. They are solid as a rock. They refuse to change until like the world tells them, no, you have to change. And that's when they will. And that's what I feel like we're getting to that point. But Microsoft's like, yo, you want to give us money? Yeah, hell yeah. And the one thing I will say is that, like,
But hold on, Crispy. Let me ask you this question though: why that doesn't apply to Nintendo? Because Nintendo has not changed, but Sony has changed.
Nintendo
They
hasn't
haven't.
changed because here's the thing, Nintendo is a gaming company, and that is all.
Hold on,
And I
real
think,
real quick. Nintendo hasn't changed. Look at the console
No,
that they offer us now.
the
yeah, but
console
they've done that
they've
before,
done this
Bob.
before. Yeah, we
The,
They
talking about.
just done
this
it
is
in
a
two different
completely
realms.
portable. This is like they went all portable, is what they did. They took the success
It ain't
of
well all
the
portable
GameCube.
Yeah,
because
but you
you
can
could just keep it
argue.
docked. Yeah, you could argue. Yeah,
What I could tell you is you could argue that the Wii U was the beginning of what they are
right,
doing now.
right. Yeah,
Um, they always know what they are, and they are a gaming company. Sony at times also is a motion picture company, and they I've watched plenty of great Sony picture movies. Okay, so they have another part of them on top of what used to be their biggest part was the hardware. Now it's kind of lowered down as far as like TVs especially and stuff like that. I mean, Sony Walkman. If you're my age or older,
Oh my
you know
goodness.
what a Sony Walkman is.
Sony
Okay.
Walkman, Sony Discman.
Yes, exactly, dude. They used to be like the pinnacle, and they fell off on
They
that
didn't
part.
change
But
because they didn't change.
their gaming aspect has upped, the ante. But at the same time, they upped the ante. Single player in PlayStation 4, Xbox One era was great. Like it's what people wanted. But as people grow up, as kids get older, they crave both. They want that interaction with the multiplayer, and that's the only difference. Let's say they do the same thing and they go Game Pass route. They release their exclusives. The problem they're gonna have is most of their exclusives do not have a multiplayer aspect. You can't add microtransactions. You can't do anything to it. So you're not making any revenue off of it. You're just putting it and hoping that this subscription, after somebody plays Ratchet and Clank for 30 hours and another game for 20 hours and another game for 100, after it's all said and done, are they still going to be subscribed? Because you're not giving them any replay value. And I think that's what could hurt them, and I think that's why they are not going all in, just right in there and saying, you know what, we're going to do this.
Well, that's why I see good signs when it comes to PlayStation in terms of multiplayer, because they did strike a deal with the development team. And again, guys, I do apologize for forgetting the name, but it's made up of ex Bungie developers.
Mm.
And that focus on multiplayer. It's going to be a multiplayer game. You got the developers behind it that understand the
So it will be
multiplayer
mostly like
aspect.
yep.
What happened?
So this. Well, I'm just saying this. So this might be a free to play type of Destiny s type of game, maybe. Um,
We still got to wait and see. Like
well,
it's
I
still
know that, but
early
I know that,
development, man.
but I mean, but just think about how like Sony works, right? Like they only they only want to go for the things that is the hottest thing for that position. Like you know what I'm saying? Like Xbox takes chances. Um, uh, Nintendo definitely takes crazy chances. They don't care because they know that their fan base is going to be
They
there
sold
for their
cardboard,
games.
for Pete's
Right,
sakes,
right.
man.
But Sony used to, they don't take chances like that anymore. So I don't know if they can just come with just anything, especially for what they've been saying here for the last couple of years about like they're going to dial back on certain things, and you know they definitely know that they need a multiplayer type game, but I I don't know. Like I mean, to come out with a different type of online type of arena shooter or something like that, I think that that's just too damn risky, especially when I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
Well, again, I
I
think
just don't see Sony being like what they used to be like that.
they got developers with a pedigree behind the project. So that right there, I understand what you're saying, and I totally agree with you. But I'm a little more comfortable with it for the fact that these people, that's pretty much what they've worked on. You know what I'm saying? I don't
Right,
think
right,
it's
right,
going to
right, right, right,
be
right.
a Destiny clone, and then you put it together with let's see what happens with Gran Turismo 7 as well, and kind of like its online structure. And if it's intuitive, and if it gets people, gives people a high replay value, and if it has like a big audience that stays there, and stuff, that's could be the beginning. Of course, we haven't heard anything about Factions 2 yet either, and that's something that I know me and K Mega are kind of like listening intently on
Yeah.
any type of information for that, for what's riding on that information. But
Hmm.
so it's good signs. There's good signs when it comes to the multiplayer. But I agree with Crispy wholeheartedly. It is something that even before Crispy was on the panel, every week or whatnot, I complained that PlayStation's first party, they were all the same. Like where is their multiplayer? The last multiplayer they had was Killzone, and I'm sorry guys, I still have my copy of Killzone from the PS4 that I don't even own because nobody wanted it. Like I could sell it at GameStop. I almost had to pay them to take it off my hands, and then like putting it
I
out there
still
for
haven't played it yet.
for putting it out there for
I still
anybody who
haven't played
wanted
it
it.
yet. I
Nobody responded. You,
I'm gonna stream it one of these days because I still haven't played that
oh,
game.
dude,
Because
let me know. I
even
will.
PlayStation
I
fans
will
will
watch
tell
it. I
me how
can't
bad
wait
it
to
is.
hear like your experience
Man,
live when it
like
comes to that, man.
I've asked plenty of is everybody like, nah, man, don't even
Don't
worry
even.
about it.
Don't, it's not worth it, bro. It's not
I
like
said I paid for it, man. I mean, I might as well. Shit.
I got you,
So
bro. So I believe we got through that one. I gotta ask you guys real quick. Any of you guys get Far Cry 6?
No.
no,
No. Can I ask
I
you
wouldn't
guys
be able
why
No.
to
real quick
discount.
before we get into the whole Battlefield beta? Anybody reasons why you didn't pick up Battlefield? I mean,
For
why you
me,
didn't pick up Far Cry?
for me, it's just because of just too many games to get. I mean, there's Riders Republic, there's there's Demon Slayer,
Ooh,
and then I mean, fortunately that there's a Back for Blood, but that's going to be on Game Pass. But and I'm sure that there's going to be something else that I forgot about that's going to be dropping uh around this time. But yeah, like no, like it's nuts. So I'm just kind of like I'll just have to wait until 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 like the price drops or
Every
something.
I
Every
still have
Far Cry I've ever purchased, I've never finished. So I'm like, I'm not gonna waste my time on
I,
this. So
I still have
That's
a
great.
sealed copy of Watch Dogs Legion, so
yeah,
I'm
I've
not
been
even
playing
thinking
Watch
Don't
Dogs
about.
break
too.
that open. What are you doing, bro? Oh my
I haven't.
goodness.
I only started that. I have not. I have not gotten anywhere except for the beginning where you see the credits
Well,
on top of the
I
roof.
haven't beat
That's it.
Cyberpunk either. Like
Oof,
that's where I go
Oh,
and
I
say
Cyberpunk,
beat
like,
that.
right?
you know, like,
Cyberpunk was
but
fantastic.
I
Yeah.
started on the One X and I was like, you know what, this is not what it should be, and I just keep waiting and hoping that they come out with this patch that they keep saying, and I'm like, just do it. I own the game already. Just please, just announce it and say this patch is done. You know,
I
even if
got
I
it
got to pay
twice
an
and I
extra
ain't beat it.
$10. It's been like a year, it feels like. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, bro, you
dude,
could
just do it.
like it'll play good on your Series X now. You can play through it now, and then when they do the next gen patch, you can play through it again and make different
I'm
choices
not
to
that
kind
type
of
of gamer, dude. I'll
Yeah, I
beat it
don't play
once
games
and that's
twice,
it.
man. One time I'm done.
even like
Here's, here's
so hold on, Pred, with that note, you don't really like games where like you can make different decisions and come out with possibly a different outcome. You
no,
don't
I
get
make the decision. I make the decision at the time, and that's the decision I made. I ain't gonna go back and change it later. Like I make that decision in the game for a reason. Like, okay, I know I'm not gonna sit here and play this game. Okay, let's think of the games like look at these long ass games like Witcher. You know, like it took me forever to beat the game. You can make 50,000 decisions in that game, and there's
Mhm.
always different outcomes. Like I'm not gonna go back and put another fucking 40 hours in that game when I got other shit to play. It's not gonna happen. So
it's very
like
funny.
when I make a decision in the game, I'm gonna make that decision, and that's the decision I made. And if I'll deal with the consequences. It's a video game. It ain't life. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So like,
right.
uh, I'll just be like, I'll deal with it. So what? I fucking miss a different ending. Someone else got it. Or oh yeah, I could have slept with this other chick instead. It's a video game. Like it's not that big of a deal to me. So
Yeah, I got I
no.
got I got ridiculed by somebody because I had a supposedly bad ending in The Witcher 3. And I'm like, man, I put
Yeah, I
500,
put
damn near
like 80
600
hours in that
hours in it.
motherfucker. Yeah,
I
like
put seven or damn near 600 hours in the game. I don't care. I mean, the victory is that I beat it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I'm like,
like
but I will go back and I'll play it again at some point.
you'll finish the side quest, but at the time
Yeah,
you've
yeah,
already made the
yeah.
ending. Like you've already
Right.
okay, I'll
Yeah.
use Assassin's Creed as a perfect example. I've gotten, and I could have swore I've gotten 100% of these games. I've gotten probably like 98%
Oh shit.
on all of the Assassin's Creeds I've played. Like you know
Hmm.
every single one. Like I'll play that game at nauseum. Like and I will do everything in it until I get to that last section because they usually tell you if you go here you can't go back. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh shit, let me go back and finish everything. So I'll try and get to a point where I just can't find anything else to do before I enter that last section of the game. And I can't do anything else. So like I try to get the best ending when I play games like that,
Hmm.
but I'm not gonna go back and do it again. Like that's just not me. Like I'm not that guy. Like I told you this, I don't replay games. The only game I could probably name like 4 games I've gone back and played in my entire life in current generations, not like in the NES era, but like I played Contra a gazillion times. But like in our current like generation, like our most adult generations, like I can probably name 3 games that I've gone through more than once. Ghost Recon, Advanced Warfighter, Ghost Recon Future Soldier, and shit. And damn, I can't even come up with a third one. I played more than once. It's very rare. I beat a game, I'm done. I don't go back to it after I beat it. I don't
It
care if
has
they
to
do.
be, yeah. It has to
Yeah, I
be
was gonna
really
say I don't care.
special for me to go back. Like for instance, for me, Dragon Age, amazing. Dragon Age Inquisition, amazing game. I put 279 hours in that bitch. I ain't going back. I got the ending that I needed. That was it. I beat all the DLCs. I'm good. I'm good. I'm with Fred on that. So it's got to be special to me, like The Witcher or Cyberpunk or Mass Effect. Because I beat Mass Effect back then, but playing the Mass Effect Legendary mode, there was stuff that I didn't play back then that I got to see this time around. But
Yeah,
once
I
I
never
beat
played a
that,
remaster. I've never played a remastered. I've never played a
Oh,
remastered. I've already beat.
I would say that the Mass Effect Legendary Edition is worth going back and playing because because I've heard so many people go back and say, "Damn, I didn't even know this was going on," and and so like that's one of the games I can say that you could just go back and do it. But once I beat that, and I went back and I went to a certain point and then started that part, and then so I could see the second ending. Nah, I'm out. Uninstalled. It was great.
I'm straight.
I'm straight. I'm good. I'm outro. You know what I'm saying? What's the next game?
Huh.
So yeah.
To think about it,
Mhm.
the two games I've probably played the campaign the most and kind of like beat them the most were probably Halo 4's campaign. Absolutely loved the story to Halo 4, and I couldn't, man. I played that many times. And Sonic Adventure on the Xbox 360. Those are probably the games like I replayed the most in terms of like the story or whatnot. But Sonic Adventure, a lot of it had to deal with going in through the levels, and like I was more or less collecting stuff for my chows at that point in time. I was
Mhm.
like big at those little blue characters that you can raise. Uh,
Mhm.
Um, um, oh, Sonic Adventure wasn't on the 360; it was on the Dreamcast, the one that
Yeah.
I played. So, but all right, that's interesting. And Crispy, no Far Cry for you. Like I believe there's a psychotic dictator, man. That might be right up your alley, but you didn't pull the trigger on this.
Uh-oh.
Okay, okay.
Muted. Sleep.
Uh-oh. Did he? Did he? He's still here.
He's still here. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
So yeah.
he's here.
But yeah, no.
If we hear snoring, then you know what's going on.
Fuck
Then you know
off.
what's going on. But no, I
There
will
he
say
is.
one more thing too. Oh, okay, there you go. Where's he at?
I
What?
swear.
What? Fuck I That's
Oh,
what I
okay.
said.
Sure.
Well, dude, you didn't answer me.
To me. I didn't know you're talking to me, sir.
I did say
Uh,
crispy, like right off the bat. He obviously
Did you
wasn't
say it
listening.
that soft? So I just didn't hear it.
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
Oh
My
wow!
God.
No, I said crispy.
uh,
He's hearing that white on white crime right there. That's what he's
Yeah,
oh
I said
man.
crispy. You're not pulling the trigger on Far Cry. You didn't pick it up. It's got a psychotic dictator in it, man. I thought it might be right up
I
your
already
alley, but
said this. I'm not no, I got enough games.
oh, all right,
I
all
I
right.
got enough we got Back for Blood coming out, dude. Like dude, I'm gonna be all over that game.
Well, according to Dreamcast guy, Back for Blood is not good. He
Oh,
put a
that's
tweet out.
not good. Yeah,
He, he,
spectacular.
he put a
Good
tweet
to
out.
hear, Dreamcast guy. Oh, good to hear. You are the person I look to
Yeah.
for any type of review.
See, I
Oh,
knew that.
that's
That's what.
non-biased, especially. I appreciate it. You know what? You get that Dreamcast name part out of you. You just call it yourself the guy,
The
and that's
guy.
it. The guy.
Wow, you are stripped from the
Okay.
name Dreamcast.
No, because you know what? You cannot involve Sega with your name at this point. I'm just saying.
Wow, bro. Wow. Well, I figure, I gotta let you chime in because we're gonna get into our impressions of the Battlefield beta, and I'm not sure. Crispy, have you played the beta?
I'm not. I haven't played any betas. I haven't played any flights except for Back for Blood. So
Are
there you
you
go.
feeling Are you feeling a little left out right now, Crispy?
I'm waiting for Sir X to just buy it for me like he said he was going to.
Oh wow.
Yes, that's a
He
name we
did
have
say
not
that.
seen in the chat today. He must be working or something tonight, man. Shout out to Sir X, man. Always supporting the show and the channel. And
He kept saying that. I didn't ask for nothing.
and he's my golfing buddy. Yo, Dark Queen, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I really, really do appreciate it. Guys, all right. Battlefield beta impressions. And I'm just going to kick this off real quick because I came to a realization, at least where I'm sitting now. Now, I was told off air that I need to play with certain people.
Shut your damn mouth and play with people.
I did play with people, but it was randos. It was randos, right? Um, Guys, I have given Battlefield a try. Like Battlefield 1, I way back in the day, Battlefield 3, I played. All right, I played Battlefield 3. Battlefield 1, Battlefield 4, I gave them a try, and as of right now, it might change at some point in time. I get in with K Mega or Predator or something like that. But as of right now, I can say that this franchise is pretty much not for me.
Oh
Not
hell
for me. That's not saying that I'm telling people if I don't like it, you can't like it. That's not.
Shit, I'm out.
I'm never saying that to anybody. Like I will give you guys my thoughts,
Oh
my
shit.
opinions, and how I feel about games, but I will never tell you what you need to think and what you need to feel in terms of
no!
your
Tell him why
own
you
experience.
mad, bot. Come on.
What happened?
Oh, hi. Thanks for checking in. I'm still a
Still a
piece of
piece of
garbage.
garbage. Yeah. Somebody a little mad there or something, man. I don't know. But that being said, there was a couple instances like when the rocket took off on the map, I thought that looked really cool. Um, Controlling helicopters is still hard as hell. It is, man. I ended up crashing, but you guys don't want to hear me. I'm just letting you guys know, at least as far as right now is concerned. Uh, Battlefield franchise is really not for me. Although Hardline was actually pretty good though. Hardline was pretty good, but
Boy, that's the only thing that kept our friendship going.
yeah,
You said
Hardline
you
was.
said the right shit.
It was a unique spin. It wasn't like a war between people and stuff
Hardline,
like that. You know what
Hardline
I'm
is,
saying?
is one of my favorites of the battlefields for sure. Okay.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I see, dude. We can drift apart on something. We're not going to be identical gamers, but it's good to see that
No.
we can. There are points we come back on. I know Halo will be one of them all the time. Forza as well,
Mm-hmm.
and Battlefield Hardline as well. Why? Who would have thought that, man? But
And Tekken and Killer Instinct, right?
well, not Tekken, but Killer Instinct, DOA, and I have a feeling Demon Slayer as well when it drops because we're both getting that. So I will play you in that as well. You better watch out. I got a character. I forget his name because anime or whatnot.
The
I call him Mr. Oink Oink.
the
Uh,
Hall guy. Yeah, I
yes,
don't know anything
he
about
is
that
my
show.
homie. He literally busted up his swords just so they can have jagged edges.
I'm like a 14-year-old, but my boobs are huge.
Oh, no.
That
Dude,
anime.
that's one
Anyway,
of
go
my
ahead.
favorites, though. That is one of my favorites, bro. Well, K-Mega, since me and you are going back and forth, I got to ask
Yes.
you, you are a Battlefield fan, and I know Predator is as well.
I'm
So,
playing it right now, baby.
oh
Let's
my God,
go.
can you do two things at once here? Can you because you might get caught
I've
up.
been playing it the whole time I've been doing the show.
Oh, okay, dude, and I
Yeah.
couldn't even tell. See,
Right.
that is awesome. But, dude, let us know what you think about this new Battlefield. There's people out there complaining about graphics and stuff. I'm actually
Mm.
impressed at like the size of the maps and the amount of destruction and stuff. So when it comes to stuff like that, I'm not looking for a game to look like God of War because God of War is really linear, so they could put a lot into the graphics. But in terms of a big open map and the amount of destruction, I think the game looks good. But graphically, the feel of the game, man, just give us your impressions, man. What do you got for us?
All right. Yeah. I want Fred to get the ending of this because he deserves it. So, but let me start off by saying this, man. Like, okay, I agree with the graphics because of this reason. Because and quote me if I'm wrong, because they did not use the Frostbite engine. They used Epic, I believe, or I mean, I don't
Unreal.
Unreal. I mean, I don't know. That's what I
You
heard.
just made Crispy's ears perk up when you talked about Unreal. By the way.
Right. Like I don't know if they went back and they used the Frostbite engine, which to me, looking at this game and looking at this game, definitely I see a downgrade in that sense of when you look at Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5. Because the Frostbite engine just looked amazing. Like you can go back and play that graphically right now and just say, damn. Now, but that being said, this is a beta. The characters do look decent. And this is an old, like what, 3-4 month build. So I know this game is going to look more polished. So with I'm just saying that from me playing this game for the very first time, I feel that the game graphically is in a downgraded state, but it is pulling at the heartstrings of those who love Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, because that's exactly what this game looks like, and that's fine. Um, Now there are parts in the game that makes you just say, "Damn, that's impressive," especially when the tornado comes, and then when you're flying in a helicopter, or well, I'm not really good at flying helicopters or jets or anything like that. I'll ride in them. I'll try to get as many kills as I possibly can in them. Um, but what is really cool is like when you see the helicopter fly over trees and the trees move, and like they got this crazy hovercraft like uh aircraft, which is nuts. And it has, you got these special, you can do special things with it. Like I just now, like me playing it while we was playing while we was doing the show, there were different cannons that somebody added to that hovercraft, and it's lethal. Like I'm like, damn. Like the helicopter had some different type of weaponry, but it's not. It's hard to shoot because especially when you got to move around so much. But that hovercraft thing, well, I don't even call it a hovercraft. Whatever the hell that thing is, I don't even know. Fred, you might can help me out with what the hell that flying thing is. Without it got propellers and it's kind of like it floats
It's an
around.
osprey. It's like an osprey, but it's just
Osprey,
a
yeah,
jet.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's nuts. That is a cool ass thing. I'm gonna try to jump in at some point in time and see if I can try to fly it, um, but obviously it looks like it's pretty difficult to fly. I don't know, but just playing this game, and when I first played, it took me about, I don't know, maybe about 15 to 17 matches before I started getting my feel for it and understanding what I need to do, because I can just kind of see a person who's not familiar with Battlefield and just kind of going in trying to play it like COD, you're going to get your ass waxed, because
Yeah.
because I definitely did the same thing, right? Like because I've been playing Halo, I've been playing COD, I've been playing everything else, and then I kind of had that thought process, and I got waxed. I think I got like 5 kills the first 3 or 4 matches, and I'm like, whoa, 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 and I'm like, okay, I gotta reel it back in and understand where I'm at, follow my team, because I'm playing with a lot of randos too. Because I've been looking to try to play with other people, but if I see a room full of other people and they're playing it, then I don't, I'm just that type of person. I don't want to cause it. I don't want to just jump in anybody's party, say, hey, let me get some. I just kind of like, okay, let them play. And so I've been just playing with randoms, and then I just slowly started feeling the process of getting back to playing Battlefield again. And I've been having tons of fun. I played it all night long last night. And and I'm just now starting to get back to play it again tonight. So, um, what's the great points about it is that they brought back something that was missing from the Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3, which is that levolution type of stuff. And this is just one map. So it's basically you get a storm, or it could be sunny, or it could be a little bit windy. But when that storm comes and you see that tornado, one of the coolest damn things is going in that tornado is right there. You just jump off a building or something, and you just take a parachute and just roll around that damn big ass tornado, and you can start shooting people and going through it. And then when like it's throwing vehicles all around, and it's just a lot of chaos and electricity, and then the lightning is flying. That is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. So looking at this being an early build, I can just imagine what this can, and it makes me more excited for what these other maps are going to look like. So, um, guns. It took me a minute to figure that out. For a second, I can see how that could be cumbersome for some people, because what you have to do now, instead of just change your weapons like you normally used to, you have to hit the LB button. Then they'll bring up your scopes, and then instead of you hitting the digital, you have to hit the button. I was going to make a video talking about that, but I was just like, I'll just tell people about it. So you hit the LB button, and then you hit Y for the scopes. You hit B for your ammo. You hit A for if you have any other accessories like a light or a red beam, and then X for your different type of uh, like uh, like long barrel, your different barrels. So, but it's actually quick and it's efficient. It's not as difficult as people may like. I've seen people complain about, but it's pretty quick. You can just jump right in. And at the beginning, I was like, oh man, every time that you die, you got to redo it again. Well, that got fixed, and so now whatever that you had your gun positioned at, once you die, you come back. That gun is just like that. There is glitches, but it says that right in the beginning of the screen. So when I see people over here bitching and complaining, I'm like, why do you guys don't read? Because Halo said the same thing, and people were starting to complain and bitch about that. But I will say overall is that Halo seems to be in a better position than what we see with Battlefield. But I think over time, Battlefield is going to have its problems at launch, but Battlefield is going to be a well-tuned machine by that first year, because that's usually how Battlefields kind of run. They kind of have their little things, and by the time that they get to their first DLC, then it's going to be all things rolling. So I definitely enjoy it. I think it's a fantastic experience, because especially if you're a Battlefield fan, because it brings back that Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4 feeling. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Let Pred and Crispy, or just let Pred go ahead and just take it over. But I'm enjoying it thoroughly. And I think that and Crispy, I think that y'all need to just give it a chance. Join me, you know what I'm saying? And get in here and let's play a little bit, and then I think that y'all have a better appreciation. Y'all might still not like it, but I think because it's so different than anything else that you guys play, but I think that you'll have a better respect for it once, especially because it's very team oriented. It's not like COD where it's all about trying to get your stats. It's about being about your team. That's what Battlefield has always been good about.
I got you, brother. And I don't know if you remember or not, but we've actually been in other battlefields together.
We have, and you've had a good time with them. I'm you know what I'm saying? We went in
Well,
with
shout
other
out to Lady
people, and yeah,
Foxfire. She made it a
right,
blast when we were in there, because she kept making fun of me for constantly
right,
jumping into tanks. Like that was
right,
I'm getting in here. That's what I'm
right,
doing.
right,
But
right, right.
shout out
So,
to
but
Lady
yeah,
Foxfire.
but but we never played Battlefield 4 or 3 together. We only played Battlefield 1 and maybe Battlefield 5. And those are totally different experiences than going back to Battlefield
Well,
4 and 3.
I actually and I felt kind of obligated to play Battlefield 1 as well, because not a lot of people noticed, but our brother the Angry Otter actually bought me that game when it came out.
Ah, no, I did not know that.
So yeah, you know what I'm saying. He spent his hard-earned money on me. Like I'm gonna get some use out of it, and such. So, but but Pred, and I'm kind of excited here, Pred, because when it comes down to it, I know Battlefield is a franchise that you get into, and I like hearing excitement or whatnot, with you when it comes to a game coming out. But I want to hear your critiques as well, any criticisms you have and stuff. But it's time, man. You got to give us your impressions here of what you played so far with the beta.
All right, so I like modern shooters. I don't like the old Battlefield ones and the World War ones and twos and that shit. So like those Battlefields didn't really resonate with me. But Battlefield 4 was my shit. I love Battlefield 4. It had weapons that I've used before. It's got guns you can actually go buy in the stores and shit like that now. Like so that was my shit. So having them go back to a kind of near modern time frame was like what I've been wanting. I'm tired of all these World War II shooters and stupid ass M1s and shit. Like
Shooting
I'm
people
done
with
with that.
muskets.
Yeah, I'm done with that. Like I wanted a modern shooter, and they brought it. And so like I play both on PC and Xbox for this one because I pre-ordered on PC, but I also get it in Game Pass. So like that's a plus, so I can play both ways. So and it played the same on both. Like there's no downgrade in as far as visuals, the way they look. I know like K Meg was saying there's a this is a beta. I look at it this way. Like the visuals, they're going to get there. So I was really more about the mechanics and the gameplay. And there were some glitches on the first day that I played. Like people couldn't get into it. And this is on both PC and Xbox. So people couldn't get into matches and stuff like that for a little while. It didn't last very long. They sometimes take the servers down to kind of fix something real quick, then push a quick update. But um, like one of the ones I couldn't stand was like you build your character, you put on all the sights and stuff you want, and then you die, and they put you on another character. So that was an issue for me. I play as an assault. If I play as a sniper, every now and then I don't do it that often, but like I play as assault most of the time, and so that's my guy. I put him up. I do the little the pad thing where you can pick your scope and shit, and that's what I want to launch at every single time I play it. I would love to save that and not have to deal with it every single time I start a new match. Like have your favorite saved. Like this is who I want to play with, and that may come later, but right now in the beta it's not there. So, but every now and then, like I die or the new game would start, and then I would just randomly spawn as a medic or a sniper. Not, I don't want that. I don't like that they have classes like the way they do, like characters. Like just let me build my own character. If I want to play as Assault that looks like me, that's what I want to play as every single time. Just let me set that as a favorite and go from there. But gameplay wise, no issues. Loved it. Then I love the gameplay mechanics. I love the fucking grappling hook. That shit has saved me so many fucking times.
Yeah.
Getting to places that I couldn't normally reach, or getting different. And it's kind of like with Halo too. Because we're watching gameplay now with the grappling hook, but like there's so many different areas you can reach that you typically would have to go upstairs or go into an elevator or parachute down, and like you can just use a grappling hook, and just work your way up to the top of some places. So that was a lifesaver for me. That got me behind people, a lot of kills and stuff like that. But um, for someone who's never played it before, who's not really a fan of it, and I know Xbox, he's not a modern shooter. I pegged you for that like 3 years ago, though. Did I not? Did I not? I said
Yeah,
you like
yeah.
sci-fi shooters. You don't like modern day shooters. So, um, for someone who's not really keen on modern weaponry and playing like modern like war games like this, especially with a game as a scale as Battlefield is, like I've always suggested, don't worry, especially playing Conquest. Don't worry about trying to capture every single point. Find one point and stay in that point. Like if you're just trying to cap C1, get C1 and stay in C1, like, and then defend it. Like the part of Battlefield is learning your avenues and learning how to get to a place and defend it, and or just like kind of sneak into it and kill everybody. Like you can't just run in Call of Duty style. Call of Duty typically has three avenues of approach, where you can get in and get out. But Battlefield, you can get in there you can get in from a helicopter and parachute down. You could run up from the backside, from the side. Like it, there's so many ways to get into a control point. And so everybody that I play with that's new to Battlefield, hey, let's just stay in this area. I need you to learn this area first. And once you learn that area, you can start learning other areas. But like you can't go in there thinking you're just gonna let me go cap A1 and they'll cap Bravo 2 and then cap, Delta 1. Like it doesn't work that way because there's so much space in between each area. You're gonna get
And there's people
sniped.
yeah, and there's people waiting for you. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna get sniped. You're gonna get hit with a fucking helicopter hitting rockets. You're gonna get fucking something's gonna happen. So just get to a point, learn the areas in that point, defend it, and then you can learn where everybody else is gonna fucking hide when they go there. And you're gonna die a lot, and that's the thing a lot of people don't understand with Battlefield. It's battlefield. Like there's people who die in battles. Like you're not gonna go 80 and 5. every single gameplay you play. Like your points aren't just based off of kills; it's based off of teamwork, like capping points, reviving people. Like it isn't just like, oh, I killed 15 people, but like, okay, you killed 15 people, but you're still in ninth place on your team. There's a reason why, because you weren't doing anything to help your team out. You weren't reviving them. You weren't giving them, ammunition. You weren't like, um, defending a zone or something like that. And I think a lot of people who play Call of Duty, they're just so in that mindset of their KDR. They don't understand like this. Like you have to what we call was it I'm about to say RTFQ. Basically get to the fucking control point. Like follow the fucking control point. Follow your fucking leader and do what they're telling you to do. Like they say, hey, let's go cap A. You and your four people in your crew need to go cap A. You can't be that motherfucking idiot. All three of your people are going to A and you're going to C. Like that's what happens in Battlefield. That's why people don't understand it. Like it's a team-based game. Like you
Yeah, it
can't
is.
just do what you want.
It squads to 6 now because
Is
there's
it six? Yeah.
120. Yes, it's 100. It's 64 versus 64 in Conquest. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's get to the fucking objective is what we call it. GTFO. Get to the fucking objective. Like your objective is alpha. Go to alpha. So anytime you respawn, you should be respawning as close to alpha as you possibly can. And when I play with randos, we don't do that. Like I'm trying to cap what the leader's saying, the squad leader's saying, and then you got these two other idiots. One's in a fucking plane, flying around, not doing shit. And then you got some other motherfucker in a whole different zone, like not helping revive people. But like the more you work with your team, the more points you score. And
That is
it
true.
isn't just about just capping an area, it's about controlling zones. And everybody working on that fucking 64-man squad, if you control those, and again, this is conquest. And there's different multiple gameplay, game modes and stuff like that too. But conquest is like really hard for new people because like the mindset of conquest is a lot different than TDM, team deathmatch. Like it isn't just kill everybody. It's like we gotta control this shit and lock it down and let everybody else do everything. Like you can't be that game player that's trying to do too much. I want to cap A, C, and B. Like, dude, just cap A and stay in A. That's your zone. Stay there, But I get it that it's not a game for you, and I know that this isn't like again, you're not a military shooter or you're a futuristic sci-fi guy. I get that.
Yeah.
Again, I called that out with you years ago, but play with your friends. Like this is a game you can't play by yourself thinking you're just gonna run amok and just do it. You're gonna get killed, and that's probably why you can't stand this game because like you're out there probably doing fuckboy shit and getting killed as soon as you fucking spawn, and
All
that's not
day,
how
bro.
this
All
game's
day. Yeah.
all day. Oh shit! I just spawned helicopter, and you're dead. You're like that's not
Right.
fun. So like if you're not having fun in the game, I completely understand it, but like you have to learn how to play the game, and the best way to do it is to play with people who actually know what the fuck they're doing. And then maybe your mindset will change. Like I can't stand Gears, but I'm sure if I played with Crispy, I'd have fun. I don't like Destiny, but I
I
played
am
with you
not
guys
down with
before.
Gears multiplayer, man.
Yeah, I'm not down with Gears
We
multiplayer, but
already
I'll
know
play it.
that very
Gear,
well.
I
Gears
like
I'm
the
gonna bring.
feels
story though.
so much better than it used to, and so like I enjoy it. I just don't play it enough.
Yeah, I don't play because I enjoy it with friends. And there's games I can
Right.
play with friends and I like, and there's games I play by myself that I like. And Gears and Destiny, two games that I have to play with somebody for me to enjoy it. I can't just jump in with a bunch of randoms. Battlefield, because I know everything about it, I can get in Battlefield and play with a bunch of randoms still have a good fucking time. But it's a complete opposite for Xbox. So like I encourage you if you're gonna play it, play with some friends and take your time. Like let people teach you how to play the game, and then maybe it'll make more sense to you what you're doing. It isn't about just oh I'm trying to get this gear set, so let me just kill everything in this section. Like it's different than Destiny. It's different than Halo. Um, and you can have fun playing those games too, but you have to understand like this is a completely different mindset game, and there's a space for people who play it. But I get you don't like it, but we'll get you there. We'll get you some gameplay. We'll get you to get some gameplay in here one of these days.
I got you,
Yeah.
bro. I got you.
Yeah, no. You're definitely gonna die. Like this is a lot of military people play this game. Like I mean, it's crazy because when I was playing four and hardline heavy, they like the people that I socialized with, that I was when I was in their servers and stuff like that, they were all military. And I was just like, and they were like, "What? Hey, what's your rank?" I'm like, "Bro, I'm not in military.
Civilian.
Yeah, I'm a civilian, bro. Yeah, I'm just paying y'all's. Yeah, I'm just paying y'all's checks." They started laughing. They said, "Well, all right, civilian, come on." But it's well, because like no, I just listen to what they say. Like, but it is so fascinating to listen to how they talk, and then like there's different type of guys. They'll pick certain classes, and like the snipers is the most deadliest to me. Is still the most deadliest people on player in this game because they can hide. They know where to position themselves. And me, I like to flank people, so my strategy kind of helps as well. But but I also like to heal people. There's people out here that, like, I was seeing that they were talking about, I'm having a bad experience, and I've had those experiences too since I've been playing this beta, where like you're right there, and it's like 10 other people right there, and you're asking for assistance to be brought up, and they're over here like they just ignore you.
Yep.
And it's kind of and it's shitty because it's like, oh, so this is how y'all gonna do me. But that's because there's a lot of people that she's playing with that are newbies that
Don't
have this
know.
Call of Duty aspect of it, not knowing that if they pick me up, then I'm another body that can add to the fight. Even if I could distract at least, you know what I'm saying, so I can get gunfire drawn to me to where that we can hold this position. And that's but that's again, that's the ignorance of people who don't really know how to play conquest. And they just come in and just to play it as like
Gotta
it's
get those
time. And
numbers,
it's not.
man. Gotta get those kills.
Battlefield ain't gonna reward you like that with those numbers. You gotta play the whole you gotta be an all around type of player. That's why when it comes to me, like, if when you go and you heal people, you take some spots, you go and you get assists, things like that. You get rewarded more than somebody that would go 85 and 5, because they'll go ahead and they'll get their little money. But if somebody's doing all around stuff and being support on top of the fact of getting averaging 10, 15 kills, it's not so much about your KD, it's about how you as a squad work together, and
Mm.
it rewards you really well.
It's
I've
funny.
literally
You
finished
think
first place in like and had like 5 kills, but I was
Mhm.
spotting or I was
Right.
I
Mhm.
was reviving people, or I was like, like laying landmines down or some stupid shit like that. And
Mhm.
I've beaten people who were playing with like 25 kills in points. It isn't about kills. It's about, like you were saying, it's about how you play in the game, like how you do your teamwork and stuff like that. So you can't just run around just shooting people. That doesn't help your team out if you're not capping points and helping the revive, or like just spotting other enemies and stuff like that. But it's you have to change your mindset when you play Battlefield.
I got you. And like when it comes down to it, that I'm a team player in like Halo and stuff like that. I always talk Destiny. I always talk about group shooting, staying together, coordinating, all that good stuff. So you think I would be a little more in tune to the nature of Battlefield? You know what I'm saying? But we'll
Well,
see.
well, you don't have that auto aim, so it ain't gonna save you.
Hey, Halo doesn't have auto aim either, man. And
This is why I can't stand Halo. Like when I put bullets in someone's forehead, they should die. I like
you
Battlefield that
go
I
through the
in Halo,
overshield
like
first, man.
I'm like I shot this guy with a whole clip and he's still looking at me and then he shoots me in the fucking face with a pistol and I'm dead. Like I can't stand that shit. But like Battlefield, I put 3 rounds in you, you're probably dead. Like
Yeah.
I don't have to deal with that shit in Battlefield. And it's like Halo and some of these these space sci-fi shooters, like there's so many different caveats of how to kill somebody. I'm like, I just want to drop a grenade on your face and you should die. That should be the end of you. Like at that point, you shouldn't get a recharge or like an overshield or like some special bullshit boost that saves your life. Like I shot you, die. Like that's the end of it. And like I don't want to have to deal with the bullshit after that. And so when I play Halo, it pisses me off because like I'll be sitting like just pegging this motherfucker, like pop, 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 pop with the fucking assault rifle, battle rifle, and nothing happens. And then like from across the way, this guy hits me twice and I'm dead. And I'm like, like fuck this game.
Dude, that's one thing I do like about the new Halo though. It's like with the hit system, when you shoot somebody, it lights up where you hit
Where you
them.
shot him, yeah, I do
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I think that's really good to hone in on kind of like your headshots and stuff because we were talking about those two shots. Those are two straight headshots that
Two straight headshots, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing about Battlefield that I think that they need to step it up on because it reminds me of COD in that way too. Because you don't know, and that's going to be really crazy, especially now when people create their characters how they want to. That they need a better indicator to let people know who they are because there's sometimes that you'll walk past somebody and the red dot don't pop up or the red label don't pop up until after you walk past them and then I'm pretty sure it's the same thing and then if they got the drop on you or if you're in a bad position then you're going to be the
Well,
one
yeah,
dying
if
so
you have a spotter,
mhm.
if you actually have a spotter on the team, like a sniper spotter that can actually spot people, they'll light up. Like you'll see the
Oh
red. Like
well
the
yeah
thing is,
that's not that you playing with randoms they don't there's a lot of people
yeah, they
that
don't
don't
do
do
that shit. But
that
like
yeah they don't do that
if
stuff
you have a spotter on your team, all the enemies that spotter sees will pop up. And but like I've
right
literally walked in bushes next to somebody and didn't even know they were there. And they
right
just turn around and fucking kill me because like there's no indicator saying this person's laying here in the grass.
Mhm.
But that's realistic though. That's not like
Right.
someone's hiding in the bushes. You ain't gonna see their ass. There's not a fucking sign above Al Qaeda's forehead that says, "Hey, this enemy's here." So it's realistic in that aspect of it. But like you get a spotter on your team though, like that's where I used to get points spotting and sniping. Like done. Like everybody sees where these people are on that map. When you do that. But a lot of people don't do that because they don't have to play fucking team ball.
Right.
Yo, the funny thing here is talking about Battlefield. Shout out to our brother Sir X Man. Like his ears perked up, man, and he had to drop into the chat. Yo, so shout out to you, brother, with the super chats. Thank you so much for the support. Now the first one says, Battlefield is for people to play together. Facts. And that's what, K Mega
Mhm.
and Pred are telling me right now. He says, I just want to drop I just want to drop in, land my ass, and blow tanks up. So basically, he wants to drop in and blow tanks up. And he says that he
Right.
loves the way the guns feel in Battlefield. Now, Pred, how do the guns feel? Are they each like distinctive and all that good stuff, man? Do you get a different feel for each of the weapons that you've played with?
Yeah, because like when I played with I played I was talking about like the sniper classes, like there's bullet drop on the guns. There's the rate of fire on like some of like the high rate guns, like the Vector and stuff like that. Like you can tell, like the muzzle rise and stuff like that. They feel like natural guns, like guns I've shot before. So um, I think there's a couple of things that are kind of OP and a couple of things that are UP in the game. Um, I thought the Vector was a little overpowered at close range, but again, it fires a high rate of. That's one of the fastest weapons out there as far as
Oh,
cyclic rate. So like it's dropping like a shitload of rounds per minute versus
It's
a
dumping
M4.
bullets, man.
Yeah,
Dumping bullets.
it's dumping. It's a really high rate of fire weapon. So you're at close range and they're hitting you at fucking 15 rounds before you get two off, then yeah, they're probably gonna kill you. But I think like some of the like um the helicopters are completely overpowered. And the tanks. And I think they hopefully they balance that out. Like I hit a tank with a rocket like 3 or 4 times and it's still alive. And that could just be me hitting in the wrong spot too, because there's certain
yeah,
spots where things gotta hit.
I've taken out the tanks. Now the helicopters, I will agree with you with. The helicopters are hard to take down, but the tanks,
Yeah.
I've been having a good. But I play as engineer too, so
Well, I
um,
played as an engineer too, and so like you do the
mhm.
like the air-to-air missile, and it's like you shoot one, they do their flares, it goes away, and by the time you reload, also their flares reload.
They
You
have
know,
yeah, they have too many. They have too many flares. Like they have to have a longer,
reload time, yeah,
yeah, reload
so you can
time
take
for
it
them.
down.
Right,
Because I mean,
because
I've been on top of that building and I've gotten massacred by helicopters. I've hit twice with a rocket, you know.
right, yeah,
And I wish I could have put gameplay up today, but I had that widescreen thing going on. But like, I literally like I got one of the little birds. They're easy to take down, but those big ass fucking gunship helicopters,
yeah,
man, you cannot kill those motherfuckers, man. They're a beast to take down. But I mean, weapon wise, like I think most of the guns, man, they kind of honed that down in Battlefield 4 with the weapons. So like, they just basically tweaked them a little bit. Like they I've never had a problem with the way the weapons fire in Battlefield. It's just a little difficult if you don't know like how to change your rate of fire from like full burst, full automatic to single shot. The time to kill, I think, is a little off. Um, like I play as a sniper and I gotta hit a guy like 3 times in the body to kill him. Where like, those rounds that you're putting in somebody from that range, that velocity, like one shot it hurt them, 2 shots to kill them. And I've hit
right.
people like 4 times. And they're just like they're still walking. I think that's fucked up. But
Oh yeah,
um, the drop rate, like the drop of the ammunition, the weapon or whatever, the ammo when you shoot it out the gun, that's cool. That's going to take some getting used to for some people, but pistols are good that I've played with. But there's a lot more weapons that they're going to come in this game, so it's kind of limited with the beta. You only get like 2 assault rifles, you get 1 sniper rifle. You only get minimal attachments for each weapon. You only get 2 pistols in the beta. So like, um, it's just the beginning. I think as the game gets, when the game comes out, you'll progress and you'll get more powerful shit. Um, but for what I felt, the guns that I played, the M4, the AK, the sniper rifle, the pistols, they all fire like they should. So they're really
Yeah,
nice.
nice,
Long,
brother.
long story short, sorry.
No, no, man. It was yours and like K Mega's time to shine in here because again, I know you guys are Battlefield fans, so I really wanted to hear, you
I
know,
do like the shotguns on the tanks though. That shit
there's
is really
shotguns
crazy to me.
on the tank.
Yes, you could. Yeah, there's like this like shoddy. It's real close range, but man, if you can net
That's the get your ass back gun right there.
that, yeah, yeah, like if like because also there's players that you can have an armored plate, and that's when I know that I got that person has an armored plate because they'll live through it. But if they're close by, and then that little thing, it takes a little time for it to reset. But man, once you let off and you got a accurate shot, their ass is gone. So, um, yeah, no, it's just a fun game to play, man. I'm having such a blast. Like I'm playing it right now, man, and just like damn, you know.
I fucking
Well,
hate
And
this gun in Halo. I fucking hate this gun.
what the BR?
This
no, the
this
alien,
shotgun, alien
yeah,
shotgun.
the alien shotgun,
Oh, you gotta
look
switch
like
it.
a Promethean, yeah, look like
Switch
a
its view
Promethean
right off
shotgun,
the bat. You have to like you hit left trigger real quick and make it go more
Vertical,
vertical.
horizontal,
horizontal,
horizontal. Yeah,
horizontal, yeah.
Horizontal. I don't like the spread on the horizontal. I make it go vertical because
Well,
I'm
that's where you
aiming
can
for
have
the
a more
head.
thorough kill is with you
Yeah,
have it because somebody killed my ass pretty quick when it was vertical
yeah.
where like it was bouncing off the wall. So I was like, oh shit, because it bounced off the wall and was hitting me from the back. So it was pretty crazy. So I don't know, but yeah, it's look, that gun is complex to use. I was having a problem with the heat wave, and then Don was like, "No, give it another try. Just see it." Now that's one of my favorite guns now after me using it because I was charging it up to attack, and you don't charge that gun up to attack. Just 2 shots, enemy's gone. If it's more than that, then that's a connection issue. But yeah, no, that's it with that. So
I got you. Yo, Pred, I gotta ask you because Future Generations put in the chat a game that he liked that is he thought was completely underrated, and it sounds like it might be a game like right up your alley. Have you ever played Frontlines Fuel of War?
I'm not.
No. How about you, K Mega? Because you play a lot of
yeah,
games.
yeah. No, I got that game. Yeah, it's not bad at all. It's good. Yeah.
Nice. So Crispy, you heard Predator, you heard K Mega. I know you didn't get a chance to play the beta. Of course, you got Sir X Man out there. basically stating that you're getting a copy of this game. So what are you thinking after hearing what Pred and K Mega said about Battlefield, man? Are you getting hyped, or what's the deal here?
Still not going to buy the game. I'll tell you that much. I don't know. I'm old school with Battlefield, like Battlefield, the original Battlefield 2, where you could switch between like helicopter to plane to freaking, a character. You didn't have a name or nothing. You were just part of the battlefield. Love that game. I played it over and over again because you could just always do something different. Then you got Bad Company 2. I mean, my God, that story was just ridiculous. And if you haven't played it, it still looks damn good right now. Okay. Now, this game, I would be very interested because it goes back to, some of the games that I enjoyed, kind of the new school type games. But at the same time, it's like, dude, you didn't give me any single player at all. I haven't played these games for years. Like, I can't get just warmed up. I got to go and find a squad. I got all this stuff going on. Not saying I'm bad at the game. I've never been bad at it. It's just, it takes a lot to learn how to use a helicopter or use a plane or whatever, the Osprey, whatever the fuck it is, to learn that and find that one vehicle that you're really good at. You know what I mean? Because once you do that, that's part of like, you'd be like, then you join a squad and you'd be like, dude, I'm really good with the tank. And I use that shotty like nobody else. And if they run up on you, I'm shotgunning and just bombing whatever the hell else is coming in the way. You know what I mean? Like those type of things, like that's what single player, especially for a game like this, would do for me. You know what I mean? Like it would get me.
One of the beauties of playing like Halo's campaign before jumping into the multiplayer, because I always went into campaign first. First off, it was for the story. I wanted to see the continuation of what was going on with Master Chief, but when they have new weapons and stuff like that, like you were talking about with the vehicles and such, the campaign parts to it, give you a feel without having to like go up against Mr. Professional Battlefield on the other team that's like sniping you out before you even like take off the ground with the helicopter. I understand that point, bro.
Well, and I'm not saying that like people don't experience that in other games. What I'm saying is that for me, like unless you're like a third person type game that has multiplayer with it, then I feel more comfortable. It's a little strange. Like I look at all games now after what I've played and I say, why can't you like allow me to play a third person view? Like it baffles my mind because people trash on PUBG, but that had that shit at the beginning. Okay. And it was in preview. And
look
these
how PUBG
huge
looks.
Well, now it looks way better. You went back and played it?
No, I ain't gone back and played that.
Dude, I'm telling you,
I'm not
way
big into
better.
Battle Royale like that. So
well, it helps set the consoles that you play it on as well. I mean, that's one of those
I
things.
played it on
like
the Xbox One X.
No, but I mean, a lot of people that you played on the One X, somebody played it on the high end PC, and trust me, it looks way better.
So,
Night and day on PC.
Oh yeah,
you know
I
what I'm saying?
on PC. I mean, I played it on PC.
I'm just saying, like, the one thing that would be different is that, like, I could play with just myself against other people, and all I'd have to worry about is those other people. This game, you're throwing myself in there, and I have no choice but to be multiplayer, and I'm going to use so somebody bombs me. Listen to me for a second. If somebody
no, because you're talking about you thrown into something, but aren't you thrown into something with PUBG? Because they haven't got no story.
But you only have a certain amount of choices. This choice that you're giving me for Battlefield. So let's say hypothetically, I jump into a game, I get killed by somebody using a helicopter freaking 12 times in a row, and then I go and say, well, I got to learn how to use the helicopter. Problem is, I get in the helicopter and I'm facing that same person that killed me in the helicopter.
You gotta learn how
Okay.
to use a rocket launcher.
Right. Use a rocket launcher. Just
But
that
see, that's what
simple.
I'm saying. You're adding like all of these different elements that I haven't played
I've
in
never been
years,
good in
and
Battlefield
and,
with the area.
and we could go and say what we
Uh,
want, but it's been years since they've added such types of vehicles. Like these vehicles are incredibly crazy, okay, compared to what they've had. The past like 5 years, I'd say. The past two games they come out with have all been World War, World War One,
you
World
still
War
had to fly,
Two.
but you still had to fly planes and use tanks and
Yeah, but those planes
stuff.
are so much simpler. There's no helicopters at the time. Name a helicopter that was out there. None. That came in the Korean and Vietnam War.
People
So
still play Battlefield 4 though, so that's always an
Right.
option.
Facts. And Battlefield 3.
those are modern times. I didn't play them. And that's why I go and say you're kind of alienating the fact that people are expected to know this, even though you're trying to put a game out there with just multiplayer that actually, kind of
I think
segregates the population.
I
It
think
makes
Chris
it
is
it makes
making a good point here. Like in terms of the campaign, I know a lot of people are like, it's not a big deal. And to a lot of people, it's not a big deal. The game's still going to do good. There's still going to be a lot of people in it. But for the people like Crispy, who only went into old school Battlefield and now jumping into new one, and shout out to Sir X Man, by the way, hitting up that super chat. He said you are getting Battlefield, Crispy. That's facts. So
I
just to let
will
you know,
I ain't that type of person. I will play it. But
you
what
are
I'm
getting it.
saying is
But
it's going to be extremely difficult for me because I will want to find that one vehicle, and just dying and dying and dying is not something I
it's
do
going to be
very often
frustrating.
in games. And it's not because I'm just dying. It's because I'm playing people that have been playing it for so long, and I have no choice but to learn these certain aspects of the game while playing people that have been in the betas and everything else. And I'm gonna get frustrated because of that. And it's not anybody else's fault but myself, because it's going to be what Sir X says, here you go. And I go and say, okay, I'm going to play with you and I'm going to suck really bad, bro. Like that's what's going to happen. But maybe I get lucky. I find that one vehicle that I'm really good at, and then I use that to my advantage. Even just jump out of it while it's like, and just let it blow up, and I jump down onto a rooftop. You never know. Like if I find that little aspect of a certain map, yes, absolutely. I might all of a sudden enjoy the hell out of it. But it's like such like a throw that Hail Mary and hope for the best type thing that I'm just like,
Well,
I'm gonna play it because he's gonna hook me up, and hopefully I find that one thing that makes it really enjoyable
well,
for me.
Crispy, I think the key to this is, I don't think it's just vehicles, but with what K Mega and Predator said before about this not being that same type of game as other FPSs out there. Having a role, fulfilling your role, being a part of the squad, teaming up with your friends, stuff like that. I think that's gonna make a world of difference when Sir X Man gets you this game, dude.
No, I agree, because at the end of the day, like every game I play
At
differently,
the end of
and
the day.
at the end of the actually, it's been a really long time
It
since I've
has
said
been,
that.
yeah. It has been.
But even like, dude, like I'll say this, like, okay, Back for Blood, you got four other people in there, right? I was always the one that had the melee weapon and
Yes,
was
you
just
were.
wiping zombies out like
Dude,
nothing.
your character
And
was
and
completely covered in zombie guts when we got to the safe house, like
and
completely.
I was enjoying the hell out of it. And you know what? There's value in that, because some of you guys have snipers or whatever. You can just sit there and just pop, 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 and help me out as I might be almost dead, and you guys just pop one head. And that saved my ass. Like
Gives you that
I
hour.
do enjoy that shit. You know what I mean? So like the tanks is like, man, you get good at that game. I'm sure there's gonna be like groups of people that you're just like, yeah, I ain't fucking with you ever again. Because they're gonna be one with a tank, two of them on the ground. You can have one with a helicopter, and one with a freaking airplane or osprey or whatever the fuck you want to call it, and you're gonna be like, "What the fuck, yo? I'm getting hit from all sides. Like, what the hell is going on here?"
Yo,
You know
Crispy,
what I mean?
Sir X-Man said that they're gonna teach you just like you teach people how to play Gears.
Okay, I have to accept that.
Okay? All right. Well, guys. On that note, we are past. We are just about. No, we are past 10:30. So it is about that time to wind it down. First off, shout out to the chat. You guys have been absolutely incredible. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. We are here every Thursday at 8 p.m., which of course is Crispy
Prime time.
prime time, baby. That's right. If you haven't done it yet, hit that thumbs up button, share the show out, let people know where you were on this fine Thursday night. Again, I think we had a lot of really good topics, awesome opinions. I thought it was a really good show tonight. And I just want to give a shout out to Halo Infinite, which they did something with the flight that I don't think anybody expected. During the weekend that Halo Infinite was being played, of course, streamers were playing the game and broadcasting it. It was number one this past weekend in terms of people watching the streams, in terms of the audience, beating out the likes of Fortnite, Call of Duty, all the ones that are usually up there at the top. Halo Infinite was number one. So for all the people who are like, oh, Halo, they need that battle royale and stuff like that, guys. Like
I'm
this
saying
was
Halo's dead. Halo is the king.
this was a flight with basically just big team battle, couple maps,
Just
social
one
arena.
map.
Well,
Just one
big team battle one map, but social arena had like two or three. There was like two or
map.
three
Right.
maps with that,
Right.
and
Right.
to see the outcomes, to see how many people wanted to check it out, how many people hung out while people were streaming the game, was really really awesome. But guys, on that note, like a 40-year-old with a comb over, it is time to get those plugs in, and we're gonna start with the man, the myth, the king of the A button, K Mega. K Mega, what do you got for an intro, bro? Outro, bro.
Whoa, intro. I was like, damn, we redoing this
Yeah,
again?
we're gonna do it all over again. We'll do it all over
Man, I was
again.
like, damn.
Different topic.
No,
I
man.
got a whole second list now.
Whoa. All right, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I haven't been making no content in a
Let's
while.
get
And I need
out of
to.
here.
Yeah, check out the GRG podcast tomorrow night. Yeah, we be having some good topics where we're talking about some things. I gotta give a big shout out to my girl D, man. She's the second generation. She's the first lady of the second generation. Because remember when we first started GRG, there was Delilah and there was Lady Infamous, but she is now, since we're doing kind of like a different, like a second generation of GRG. She brought up some dope ass not just analogies, but just points of view about the topics that we were talking about. So, man, go check out the GRG podcast. I should have recorded them. I tried to record it, but then I shut down the damn show by hitting the record the save button, whatever that new button that's on YouTube. So I was like, oh damn. So next time I'm gonna just have to go through and just take whatever she says and just put it out, because she made a really, really, really valid point. I'll just go ahead and say it right now. When we was talking about like people having a problem with collaboration, I mean having a problem with Xbox purchasing games and collaborating with certain things. And she was just made a point like, why is it that if Xbox buys or purchase something, why is that a problem? Or if they want to, work with somebody else, when is that become a problem when everything else in entertainment in entertainment, when collaborations come together, everybody loves them. Like just think of music when a certain artist gets with another artist, or just any other type of entity that it is one of those things where everybody is liking that and think that people should do that more often. Why is it that in gaming people have a problem with Xbox doing that and working with other publishers or whatever. So that was a really good point that she was saying. But yeah, check out the GRG podcast, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, which is like I should have made that last. 6 p.m. Pacific. And yeah, man, sorry that I haven't been putting out no content, man. I have been busy doing so much other stuff. Mom's been in and out of the hospital trying to take care of that situation. You know what I'm saying? I'm still having to deal with my issues and stuff like that. So I will start streaming more and things like that. Hopefully tonight, me and Yobi will start we'll do a little streaming, do a little early fight night so we could just go ahead and just play some other fighters because we have some unfinished business because we had such a great time at Fight Night last Sunday. So yeah, go and check out Fight Night Sundays on Twitch. I do have a new channel. It is only going to be for streaming. It's K Mega doing it live. K Mega 405 doing it live. Go check it out. Go subscribe to that. You know what I'm saying? Go support. I haven't done anything on it yet, but I am going to be doing things on that as well, since I'm not going to be streaming as much on my channel. So that's another discussion in another time. But yeah, thank you guys so much. And then you can check me on Twitter where I'm mostly talking the most shit at K Mega 4. So yeah, shout out, thank
Nice.
you.
And shout out to Sir X Man hitting up that super chat. He said he loved K Mega's video of the Xbox hater. He laughed so hard.
Oh man. Xbox hater.
Nice, bro. And,
Shout out to X Man. That's my bro, man.
yeah, hell yeah. Crispy, my podcasting brother, man. What do you got for an outro, bro?
Don't be about the plastic wars, be about the games you play. I don't know. At Chris Bomb on Twitter, Chris Bomb 28 Xbox Live. Find me at Breakfast with Boom tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. We got Retro Renegade, 7 p.m. Tuesdays. And of course, back here on the next podcast, Thursday, 8 p.m. Prime time, baby.
Prime time, baby. Yeah, that's right. Yo, shout out to the friendly neighborhood Blue Shell hitting up that super chat one more time. And he says, will Xbox 448 surpass K Mega and Halo Infinite this December?
Never.
Tune in to find out.
Never. Just go look at Halo 5 and look at his numbers, look at mine. And then also go look at his rank and look at mine.
Oh, now it's look at my numbers. So it took how many months for you to like actually catch up to me?
Bro, I wasn't playing like that.
Months. I wasn't
playing like that.
Months.
Don't hate because I started playing in hardcore.
You're throwing out numbers, man.
I will be hard. I will be hardcore. I'll be hardcore going in. Look,
yo, and
you're just now putting in work hours like I was doing plus some back then. Now it's a whole different story.
We'll see.
You know what I'm saying? I'm doing what I'm chilling now. You know what I'm saying? I'm retired.
Yo, even during the
I don't know how long, but I'm retired right now.
During my working, I don't see my Destiny 2 hours dropping at all. So we'll see, bro. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yo, Michelle, and I will let you know when Halo Infinite drops. That is where I'll be, man. You can come hang out with me. Join my fire team. We will take it on. The entire multiplayer.
He'll be up there with us, you know what I'm saying? With me, One Bad Mother, Don. We'll dominate. You might as well just join us. If you don't, then you're gonna get ran over.
I'll think about it.
Don't well that's fine with me because listen, there's nothing gonna be sweeter than just to see that you at the bottom of my heel. That's it. And Halo.
Wow. Yo, Blue Shell, what did you start, man? All of a sudden it's just ego. Like I feel it on the back of my head, man. Coming all the way here in Connecticut, yo. Stop blowing up this dude's head, yo, for real.
Oh man, my brother.
But and last but certainly not least, the man, yo, brother. You see, I kept my Halo short tonight. You see that, man? I just shouted him out real quick.
I know you'll get more time for Halo later, I'm sure.
But bro, I do honestly gotta say, man, like, I probably said it before, but dude, when you said you would be on the show, again, I appreciate it so much, man. You bring a different angle to the show in comparison to every panel member. Every panel member definitely has, unique personality and stuff. But you are the only one that like will tell us to shut the fuck up when we need to shut the fuck up, man. And I definitely appreciate having you on the show every week. So, what do you got for an outro, brother?
Nothing, man. See you on the battlefield. I'll be on all day tomorrow. So, um, yeah, actually, the beta, actually, the open beta, I think for everybody else who didn't pre-order, comes out tomorrow, I think. So all the noobs that I can kill will be on there tomorrow. So,
Uh-oh.
I'll be
Maybe I
taking
should
care.
record some more of that gameplay because boy, the gameplay that I got, I've been getting some work, but that's okay.
I know
So
it's crazy because like you can't record on Xbox, for whatever reason. Listen,
no, you can't.
yeah, so like I had to record on PC, and I've been playing with these mouse and keyboard motherfuckers and raping my ass. But um, I did get some good footage, and I can't use it because my monitor doesn't record in, I guess,
Uh,
the 21 by 9 or 16 by 9 aspect ratio. So it would look like crap on the podcast. So I just have to play in regular, I guess, the peasant resolution.
Peasant mode. Peasant mode. That's what you
So I can
gotta do.
record some gameplay. But yeah, I'll be on Battlefield tomorrow. Make sure y'all check out my OnlyFans. That's where Dark's at right now.
mm,
I'll see y'all next week, man. Predator underscore H2S on Xbox and everything else too. So later.
Nice. Yeah, and Dark actually really wasn't here because, after the Jim Ryan interview, there was a distress call from the Pegasus Nation, and he had to go to an emergency spaces, so this way they can console each other, give each other a shoulder to cry on as they complained about Xbox. Shout out to Jesse Walker. Oh my goodness, that is a name I have not seen in a while. It is good to see you, lady. We are winding it down though, so hopefully we get to see you here next week. Shout out to you at work, by the way, as well. So good to see you,
shout
Jesse.
out.
Good to see you. But on that note, guys, I do have work tomorrow. I'll be pulling a 12-hour shift, so I got to get to bed. It has been an absolute blast. Make sure you are here next Thursday for the next podcast. Have a great night, everybody.
Latest.
Welcome to the
This is Steve
Welcome.
Downs, the voice of Master Chief, Spartan 117. And you're tuned in to next podcast. Now, wake me when you need me.